Good evening, everybody. We're here. Episode 1. So we'll go around and introduce the players. Why don't we start with Rudmendai?
My name is Hannah, and my character for this game is Rue. Her full name is Rudmendai. You can take that however you want.
Nice.
She is a forest gnome wizard. She is old. She is mean. And she likes eyeballs.
Whoever wishes to go next may.
I'm Katie. I'm playing Poppy, Changeling, Grave Cleric. We both use she, her pronouns, and I like eyeballs, but probably not as much as Ray does. I'm more into the bones.
I'm not actually the most morally awful person in the party for once. Hi. Hi. I'm Arlie. I'm currently playing a totally respectable giant. My character is Willard Blake. He's not the worst of sorts, but he's definitely not the best of sorts, since he got into occultism out of boredom and a desire to do something with his life. And that is a terrible life decision. Generally, giving the great old ones a big hello is not actually a suggested thing when you have too much time on your hands, but here we are.
And yet.
All right. So I'm Ian. I'm playing a half-orc druid called Ukvar. He's a child of the forest and prefers nature to other sentient beings.
Very fair. So, for your many various reasons, I believe it was Poppy who recruited you, Rue. I could be mistaken. Pretty sure that was what happened. You're all heading out towards a local landowner who seems to be having some type of problem with things disappearing from her property, things disappearing from her family crypt even. The last set of adventurers that set out to do so has not returned. They're assuming dead. They're not...
Because they were weak.
Because they were weak. They're all weak. You've been on the road for probably about 2 days. This is like nearing the end of day 3. Who is driving the carriage? I know Arlie is, or I should say Willard is asleep.
Indisposed of.
I would assume probably Ukvar.
Yeah, I don't have animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure, I can drive the horses.
As you're kind of meandering down the road, it seems to get a little bit more rough towards this point. Like, the actual road is getting less worn, less traveled.
Okay.
You do hit a massive rock, and Willard, you just kind of get shooken awake.
Oh, that was a big rock.
Just sort of like tip my head over a little bit, like hungover and otherwise shaky, snort out something rather. I snorted up my nose earlier. It's fine. I just hang over the like back of the carriage looking awful.
Nice.
I think Poppy looks back and is just like, it just whispers quietly to anyone who's listening, I don't know how much longer that Willard has.
Where'd that rock come from? That's what I want to know. It came out of nowhere.
Rocks everywhere.
In nature, I don't believe it.
From what you gathered... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
from what you've gathered from like the instruction of the person who sent you out here, you've got about like a quarter of a day's travel left, and you know this because you're coming across a bridge that's crossing a rather large river.
Okay. What's the condition of the cart? We hit this rock. Is it still usable, or?
It wasn't anything like severely damaging to it. It still seems to be functioning fine. It just caused a massive bump in the road.
Fair enough. So what are we thinking? Should we continue on in the cart, or should we try a more stealthy route and go on foot in case there's danger around?
Is there any signs of danger? Should we be looking out for danger? I'm not really sure if that's something that was on our minds.
We are
I
traveling
mean-
with men. We always suspect danger.
You know what? You have a point.
This is true. Yes.
Yeah, I'm running dangerously low on alcohol, so I don't know. I don't really want to hike for a day when we still have a cart. Just
Yeah.
saying.
If it
Okay.
works, I think we should use it.
I
Right.
mean, as long as you don't keep running over whatever you ran over.
As far as
Hey,
you
as
can
long as the-
tell, as far as you can tell, it doesn't seem like there's anything particularly different or wrong from the other 2.5 days you've been traveling.
Okay. Except for the wolves howling now.
You've had that
Just-
happen a couple
just
times. You are near,
ambiance.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
are
I
Just
know,
been
I know.
keeping us company the whole route for
Time.
when we decide to get out of the cart.
Yeah. Meal. They don't
It's just
like
like
meals
a-
on wheels. They like meals on foot.
Yes, I definitely want to walk the other part of the day while the wolves are out there. You
Okay, so I guess
first.
we drive on.
Real quick, just so I can keep it in the back of my mind, if everyone could give me a perception, real quick.
Okay, and how do we do that?
Uh,
On the Discord or on
In the roll 20, if you open
Okay.
up your character sheet,
Mhm.
right near to your stats and
Oh
a little bit
no,
lower
Poppy.
is perceptions. It is like a skill list, and you can just click ye old skill list.
Yay.
Told you I
Yeah.
got that 20 out of my system. It's the whole ones now, baby.
Oh, don't
Sorry.
worry, I'm about to join. Oh, there we go. My tasty 10. Thank you
sorry,
for being my
still.
dump stat wisdom.
Oh, no worries. So, like, on your sheet,
So on the character sheet,
if you go down to your skill list, it has all, the acrobatics,
acrobatics and all that. Yeah.
perception. You literally just left click it, and it should auto-roll it for you.
Oh, okay.
Oh. First one. Okay, got it.
Yeah, the first one I double clicked there.
It happens. Okay.
It's fine.
I think Poppy is very distracted by Willard and like honestly thinking this might be his last leg.
Just like, man, how has
Very
his liver not given out yet?
You are a marvel of medical things. I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone like you. So much alcohol.
Better than blood.
Mm.
I'm not
That's
sure
not
that's how that
right.
works. I mean, I don't
Thicker
think
than
that's
water?
How
Right?
that works.
Right.
You're messing
Thinner
up
than
some-
water.
you're getting a few colloquialisms confused, but all right, as long as you're okay.
Yeah. Till the rolling hangover runs out and I die. It's good. It's good. Flop. Just like the hangover.
Have it. Thing was being weird. Oh. So,
Harley, did you pass out?
He's just like, it's not he's unconscious, it's he's like that I don't want to move, I'm a potato and horribly hungover.
Rue
he's
takes a knife out of her sleeve
Uh-oh.
and just gently pokes your cheek to see if you react.
He just like rolls and looks. It's not even like a oh my god, it's like a I mean, usually this happens when I like sleep with someone's wife. A little premature, don't you think?
I can wait.
oh, no.
Thanks.
Don't worry.
Thanks.
If she takes your eye, I can make sure that you're healed. I mean, you won't have an eye anymore, but You know,
You won't be bleeding.
you don't need 20/20 vision in both eyes.
You flatter me. I don't think I can. What vision is this? It's still blurry.
Ooh, oh, boy.
Oh. So, most of the trip seems to be going fairly smoothly aside from Willard's
Ordeals.
ordeals.
Or
The
deals.
Poor ordeals. Rue,
Uh,
through one of the many various, like, waiting to arrive at the place, you can see the place off in the distance. It's a rather large white building. Seems to have like multiple floors, a rather large tower almost. But on the way there, you kind of notice something off to the side of the road near some trees. Just
Yeah.
Rue does specifically?
Rue does
Because I rolled a
specifically,
17.
Yeah. Rue does specifically. You notice
just looking at that.
some bones.
Hmm.
But they don't look
You
quite
can continue
normal.
on. I have things to discover.
You can continue
And
on.
Rue just like hops out of the moving
Oh.
carriage. She's good. Don't. Like, she's
Where
like 300 years old, but she didn't have time for your shit.
Where are you?
Super spry.
Well, I will slow the cart, watch what she's doing.
Poppy's gonna jump out too because she's nosy. She's a nosy changeling.
It's like all of them hopping out, and we're just like the wolves kite. And he just like little ball of light, just yield light spell, and like you could keep doing the thing. I'm just gonna patch the back of the cart there. I could see you guys a little better right now, I think. All four of you.
Rue ignores basically anything else that's occurring and just kind of glides over to these bones that she has seen on the side of the road to carefully inspect the skull specifically, but the rest of the bones as well.
Probably much to Rue's probable disappointment, the skull is kind of all like marred. It seems to have been like chewed on,
Hmm.
but it seems to have more than just teeth marks.
Can she identify them? I'll
Uh,
roll a nature check.
Go ahead and roll a nature. What are you trying to identify specifically? Like what?
Fuck. Apparently goddamn nothing. The identify the teeth marks to or the age of the decay.
They are definitely teeth.
Poppy's standing over you like, ooh, bones. I like those.
They are definitely teeth marks of some type of creature of some variety.
So because Rue doesn't know what it is like innately, she's going to take the charred or the mangled skull and kind of look at it in her hand, kind of like this, and then just carefully lick it before she puts it back on the ground. That's who y'all are dealing with.
I like your style.
Better him than me.
Poppy watches us, and then she's gonna kneel down and sort of just dig through them a little bit and pick up one of the thinner bones and sort of look at it closely. And can I do a medicine check to see if I can identify what happened to them? Because I'm a cleric.
Sure.
A 14.
You can definitely tell that they've kind of been like chewed on by something, but there just seems you're not entirely sure if it's some type of like burn marks or something else missing, but like aside from the teeth, you can see certain parts are like almost charred, but it's not quite the same as like fire damage.
Hmm.
Mm.
Rue, you think think we should take these with us. We should. I mean, if anything else, I can put if something happens to my arm, and I can just fix it. And she's wearing chainmail that's made out of or scale mail that's made out of bones, and she's just holding it up in places where it's sort of messed up a little bit. And she says, or we can, if we do come across a wolf, there's a snack.
I'm pretty sure the whole fee fi fo fum thing is not a suggestion.
Rue takes her old, weathered hand and gently kind of presses it to your Poppy's abdomen and says, yes, let's take them with us.
I like that idea. And she'll start gathering the bones up.
Rue turns to return to the cart, but she doesn't get in. Instead, she walks next to it.
Can I make a survival check to see if this is the result of an ambush or something like that?
Oh, so you want to see if like
if this was planned or like where, because this is obviously the end point. So were they chased here? Were they attacked here? Like,
oh,
Just-
I
Oh,
see.
you're
You're
looking
trying,
for like tracks and
you're
stuff.
trying
Yeah,
to
like
see
what
like
happened.
tracks and stuff. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
go
know.
ahead.
Would that be survival or?
That would probably be survival if you're looking to like find tracks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I can't see what I rolled. So.
24.
Ah, nice.
Sure. Yeah, if you scroll all the way down, it should show you. If you go back into chat, I should say.
Oh, okay. That's where it's at.
Yeah. Except our trash drops. So you can. It's kind of more difficult to really see because there's just a lot of like random wildlife traffic that seems to have happened. You can tell that there were some type of animals that were near this thing.
Okay, can I tell what kind or generally anyway?
Big.
Big.
At
Okay.
least bigger than like a normal wolf. It's you're not entirely sure what it is, but it's definitely bigger than a normal wolf.
Okay, and so, but it's not like a bear.
Not quite the size of a bear, no.
Okay. So I'll tell the rest of the group. I'll point to the tracks and be like, "Oh, animal sign, large creatures, big, not quite bear size, but almost. Be on the lookout."
You can tell
think-
that it's been at least a few days since this
Okay.
since
They
this has
old-
happened. They're very old.
Okay, old sign, but still, they were here.
Poppy hops onto the back of the cart and just sort of lays the bones out beside her very reverently and is lining them up as well as she can, and just looks back and says, "Okay, we can go now."
There is one more thing that you kind of notice, Ukvar. When you're kind of investigating around, because it was towards like the base of a tree.
Okay.
Aside from the bones having that like weird char kind of thing that doesn't really look like it was caused by fire, parts of the tree have that too.
Can I make a nature check just to see if I can, like, if it's a natural, like, if this what caused the flame is a naturally occurring thing, or if it's something maybe not.
I'll say just from the survival thing, it's not natural.
Okay.
Like at least not in any sense that you're aware of.
Okay. Then I won't need to make the nature check.
Yeah. So yes.
Okay, so I guess I'll get back on the cart, check on Willard, see how he's doing. Still breathing?
Oh yeah, he's just like looking a bit zonked right now, and at this point, she's just like a little more awake because he like tapped the back of the cart just to provide like light.
Okay.
He's now just staring at it and looking at his own shadow.
Okay.
You know, just normal,
Normal hungover stuff. Sure.
normal hungover things.
Normal hungover.
Don't worry, when he's sober, he'll be mildly more useful.
Okay.
I
Mildly.
promise.
Only mildly.
Well,
Don't worry.
that's all we can ask for.
Arlie's making sure we don't get our hopes up. It's all that's
Right.
happening.
Just set expectations low. Everything past that is a bonus.
Exactly. All right, so then I guess I'll get back in the cart and we'll continue driving on.
Okay. The majority of the rest of the day passes without too much else interesting coming up. Within probably about like 2-3 hours, you start coming up on the house. A lot of very elaborate like windows and pillars around the front end of the house that kind of just seem to, you're able to see in obviously because they're kind of lower hanging windows, and there doesn't really seem to be anyone inside right now, at least not on the ground floor. Very large open like dining hall, large open study.
Okay.
Well, are we supposed to meet someone here, or was this just a figure it out on our own type of thing?
The person kind of didn't tell you. I guess he kind of was just like, hey, go talk to them, I guess, if you're trying to figure it out. His job is really just to send people out there, and as long as he sends someone out there, he gets paid. He doesn't really care.
Fair. Yeah, do we have a name of the person?
It is Caroline.
Right, well then I'll just shout her name, or the person's name. Caroline, are you here?
It kind of takes a second. It's starting to get dark. It's not quite fully like sunset yet, but it's starting to get darker. You see like a lantern kind of light up on the 3rd floor.
Okay.
And slowly start making its way down. You can kind of trace the light as it's going through the house, and eventually makes it towards the front door. Door opens. Hello?
Poppy's jumped off of the back of the car and is already rushing up to meet this person around the car and around Rue, and is going, hello, we're here to investigate your creepy house.
My creepy... Well, I suppose it is creepy.
Have you looked at it lately? It's very creepy.
My forefathers had very interesting tastes.
You know that you can redecorate whenever you please. You know what? I won't harp on that.
There's too many memories in this house.
Is this like an ancestral home thing? I just need to know if this is an ancestral home thing.
Yes, it's been in my family for quite a few generations.
Where do you bury your dead?
Well, it kind of depends. It's really only me and a few of the servants still, but...
We don't mean currently. I'm pretty sure. Do you mean currently, or do you
Well-
mean historically? Like looking over at Rue for that one.
It kind of depends on which one. There's the standard graveyard a little bit further out, and then our family crypt is fairly close by.
Where's the crypt?
It's behind the house. About an hour's walk. There's some fair... You seem a bit excited about the crypt, and I'm slightly concerned.
We were told that things are missing from your crypt. What things were missing? We have to
right,
make sure we
you-
cover all our bases. You
Oh,
know, the
it's
crypt
for
is safe.
investigation reasons, yes. It like very quietly like looks over and tries to like gingerly reach out with the whole awakened mind thing to ruin. Just like curb your enthusiasm. I'm too hungover for this to explain why you're going to take a midnight hour-long walk.
To a crypt.
Just like, I'm a little more awake right now. Please let me finish waking up. And just like stops looking at Rue, looks back over, and it's just like nods.
It is getting rather late. Are you sure that you want to head out there now? Surely you could come in and at least we could discuss what's happening. I don't know. I
Oh.
suppose you are the experts. I don't know. I'm just
Well, I mean,
concerned. Things have
Any
been
more
very
information
strange.
can help, I think. She's sort of looking around at the group like, is this what we want to do? Do we want to go into this creepy house?
Do you have a veranda? Maybe some tea. It's a lovely evening,
The
and
moon is so bright.
it is such a lovely evening. At the stars, the luminescent moon, the howls of the ravenous wolves in the distance. So hospitable. It just like gives the house an evil eye.
To be fair, that's why there's not very many of us left now. Too many. The wolves just showed up fairly recently.
Ugh.
So you have death recent.
Fairly recently, yes. She seems to kind of like halfway back up from Rue.
Well,
I would love to offer you some tea and food if you'd like to come in. We have a very lovely dining area.
So no
I'd have to-
veranda. It's the okay. I
Nothing
Inside
set
the
up for
house.
that, no. We've kind of avoided the veranda since they showed up.
I mean, I guess not feeding the wolves your servants or yourselves is it's just wolf howl. I guess you know, between the two, it just turns and it's like very quietly reaching it with the awakened mind thing now to our other creepy resident. I mean, sorry if this is intrusive, but also creepy house, wolves, creepy house, wolves. Like, and he just looking at you like, because he's not saying anything. It's just like you're getting this from him, but he's not saying anything out loud, and just sort of.
I think we would love to come in and avoid the wolves at all costs.
That would probably be best.
And there's tea.
There is tea. Yes.
There is tea.
I will start that up and see what I can scrounge up. It's been some time since I've had to cook, but I'm sure I can still accomplish it well enough.
I mean, if it's easier, and you have coffee, and you just pour bourbon in it, and it doesn't matter how poorly you do the coffee at that point. In case you're out of practice, you just bourbon fixes everything, and it's just like internally, and then I don't have to sober up.
I'm
Hair
afraid
of the
we're
dog.
currently out of most of our liquors.
Rue very quietly pulls a bone fragment out of her sleeve and like kind of gently puts it in her teeth like you would a toothpick and says, "Then what do you eat?"
What do we eat?
She said she didn't cook.
Oh,
So what does she eat?
usually one of the servants takes care of the cooking. They take wonderful care of me. Been with our family forever.
Where are the servants?
They're currently burying the recently deceased one.
Ooh.
So you have fresh bones.
Again, she's like
At the tomb right now.
she's staring like
She's just showing concern because the fresh thing and the wolves. That obviously means there's a heightened danger for any investigation this evening. Also for your servants who are, yeah, you know, it's sorry, her
She's
manner.
not from around here.
apparently.
That
Regardless, please do come in. We can discuss this at further length in there. She's still eyeing Rue like should I be concerned?
we highly appreciate the invitation. It's always best to get those before.
Yeah, I think Poppy will follow her in as she backs up slowly. Poppy's excited.
Caroline.
Yeah, Willard's enthusiasm is pretty great. Just like Creepy house, wolves. Creepy house, wolves. And I gotta do this sober. Great. I shouldn't have pre-drank, but it was such a boring ride.
Rue kind of follows you all up the stairs or into this house, and as she turns gently right at the end and pulls something out of her sleeve and just kind of crushes it up on the stairs as she heads inside.
Bone offering. Yay! I'm assuming you're
Ukvar also
following as
goes
well, Ukvar.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's last in because civilization and all that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Caroline, she kind of leads you into, like, there's the initial little entryway, and then it seems to be like a fairly long hallway leading to a giant staircase, but there seems to be hallways in between it and doorways on each side. She takes you to the first door on the right, and there's a rather elaborate dining hall.
So, Caroline, what exactly has been happening with your house and your crypt that you need outside forces to investigate?
That's the things. I really don't know. It's something entirely out of the ordinary, and I haven't had to deal with it before. There's just all types of things missing, and some of my servants have been saying things have just been disappearing from the crypt.
What kinds of things?
Well, sometimes it's trinkets. Occasionally, we've actually been missing the remains of some of my ancestors.
So, grave robbers,
I
possibly
thought so,
getting the
but
trinkers.
they're not taking anything of value. They're taking, like, family mementos, things that don't actually sell for anything.
Sounds
mean-
like some kind of dirty magic.
You've not seen any hide nor hair of them at all.
Oh. Also, it also seems a lot more... I don't know much about grave robbers, to be fair, but it seems significantly less targeted. Oftentimes, it appears to just leave the area haphazard and just random in its destruction.
Any idea where they might be coming from?
I'm entirely unsure. I've heard tell from some of my servants that they may have spotted some things out towards the fringes of the woods around the house. I've heard tell that some of the tombstones have gone missing from the normal graveyard. I'm sorry, I really don't know. I know I sent the other group a while ago and they just sort of disappeared. I thought maybe they just didn't think they could do it and went back. But since you're here, I'm guessing that's not the case.
What exactly type of work was your ancestors involved in? You said the house and everything comes from them. What exactly did they do?
As far as I know, they kind of oversaw most of the local, like, housing. They helped establish I believe, if you're here, you probably came from the crossroads, yes?
Yes.
I know they helped initially establish that, and I think that's the vast majority of where their wealth has come from. We still occasionally get payments from the crossroads, so I would assume that there's some type of land ownership. My father did not really inform me very much before he died recently.
No one owns the land.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Duly noted. I'm not sure the proper term then. I know we have deeds.
Mm.
What happened to your father, if you don't mind me asking?
He kind of just disappeared.
Seems like there's a lot of that going on. When did he disappear?
A few years back.
Hmm.
One of
And
my servant Sebastian said that it was nothing to be concerned with and that he just left.
Went
You
off
trust?
on a hunting trip and just never came back. Maybe, it's just like very quietly. Maybe went off to get a pack of smokes.
Yeah. Exactly. Went to the crossing to get some torches. Never came back.
It
Is
just
he
happened.
the one who cooks for you?
Sebastian? Sebastian is one of the ones who've cooked for me, yes. There's really
Rue
only
just kind of watches her, almost like wide-eyed and horrified at her naivete.
there's really only Sebastian and Lucas left.
we'll probably need to speak to both of them. Are they out burying your less fortunate servant?
They are. They should be back relatively soon. If you'll excuse me, please, I should get started on the tea and the food. I've been a most lacking host right now.
Oh, take your
can-
time.
I can assist you.
Perhaps. If you really feel the need, that kind of seems. No, I probably shouldn't accept the help. I'm the host. I should be taking care of things.
It's a cultural thing for her to need to help the host.
I have
Again,
I'm
though,
unaware
that
of this.
Kind of
you haven't
privately
noticed.
and over to Willard, like Rue in like a very rare moment is like, especially if they don't know how to do anything in the kitchen.
There's just like a very quiet, like his finger snaps just like at that. It's just like under his elbow though. And it's like, as you mentioned, her mannerisms a bit not that you're familiar with. Same with the culture. We've gotten used to it as well. It would do a
It has
great
finally
deal.
passed sunset, by the way, and like it is officially dark outside. There's a rather lovely moon. It's not quite a full moon yet, but there is a rather lovely moon kind of cascading through the windows as I just bump my mic.
But yeah, he's just like, so yeah, gestures. It's just like
Shortly after there does appear to be like you hear the door actually like opening and shutting and a couple pair of footsteps coming from down the hall.
and that sounds like the servants, so I'm going to head over there. I leave this to you two. Would you care to just gesture at like would you two care to come with me and we'll leave them to it?
Yeah, I'll follow Willard to go meet the
Just
servant.
foisting Rue on her.
Yeah, Poppy will follow too.
Oh,
Good luck with the tea.
oh, okay. Oh, let's see.
Did we just really split the party? Did that really just
we
happen?
really just
Really
split the
just
party
split the party.
in a
Split
horde.
the
Yeah, it's good.
party.
I would like to split
This
it even further, and
Not go wrong.
as we dip out of this room, I want to like go into another room. Just I'm gonna be nosy and snoop.
Okay. So here I was gonna say, Rue, Caroline takes you out a door on the northern end of the room. You all came in from the west. And it leads out into a tiny little hallway, and immediately across from it is another door, and it's the kitchen. And she's kind of just, now where did I keep the teapot?
Rue, having been in a kitchen before, immediately starts to just open the correct cupboards and pull down a tea kettle and cups and canister that she's fairly certain has tea in it, but she'll open it and say there's nothing in this and put it back and then pull a tea bag out of her sleeve.
Oh boy. Where the party wakes up missing their kidneys.
We know who to blame.
I'm only interested in your skulls.
Only in their skulls. Only
So
in their
anyway, I
skulls.
put a kettle on.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Very well. Let's see here. She seems to like take a second to like realign herself, and then she starts remembering where everything is and starts trying to prep some basic like meat and starts cooking it.
How did the servant die?
And last I saw, they tried to avert my eyes as best they could when we found him, but we had some sort of strange bite marks all over him. It looked like wolves, but something else wrong with him.
Is this the same affliction your father died from?
Don't. As I said, he just left. I would
And
hope
you
that
trust
he didn't. I would hope that he
these
didn't die that
servants?
way. That would look like it would be awful and painful.
Rue just kind of catches herself because she's about to say something truly heinous and she decides not to. She is, after all, making this woman a cup of tea. She turns back and puts the bag in and gets the kettle done, and she starts to pour up tea into the requisite number of cups, -1. And
Oh. Her -1.
that's all right. Rue finds a tray somewhere and assembles the saucers and the cups onto the tray and carries it back through the doorway.
Fair. One thing of note, the teapot that you're using is very nice. It's like very intricate.
Do I recognize it? Is it a pattern or a...
There doesn't appear to be any type of like normal pattern. It just is very like it's got a lot of very intricate carvings into the actual like ceramic that the like teapot would have. Not the actual kettle, but like the what you would pour it into.
Interesting. I don't recognize it at all. It just seems wealthy. Seems expensive.
Just seems wealthy, seems like very finely made.
Intriguing. The rich girl who doesn't know how to make tea.
Huh?
Nothing. Internal thought.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
so
we return back to the
yes,
main room.
you all will start returning back to that after the meat has been cooked. Back to servant time with Ukvar and Willard.
A winning combination.
Oh yeah.
As you exit the door, you run into two fairly well-dressed people that seem to have like some dirt and stuff on their on their pant legs. Oh. One of them is like rather tall and has graying hair at this point. The other one is still relatively young. Probably about like 18 or so.
looks at the young one and goes like questioningly, like it was Sebastian and Lewis, right?
Sebastian and Lucas, yes.
Lucas. So he looks at the young one and just like questioningly, Lucas?
Yes, that would be me.
Pleasure. We're here on the behalf of the lady of the house, currently to investigate the unfortunate going-ons happening in the area.
Ah,
Also,
yes.
he's like vividly talking with his hands the whole way through, and I will, just here on behalf of the lady of the house. We were wondering if perhaps you might be able to provide any insight, especially since you're a bit closer to these unfortunate events and need to deal with the aftermath. You might be able to tell us some of the details the lady of the house might not have been privy to for the sake of her preserving her sensibilities from the heinousness of all this.
Oh, yes. At this point, the elderly one, like, I don't believe that we have quite done this properly. I am Sebastian. You obviously know who we are. Who might you be?
Oh, I'm Mr. Blake. Pleasure. Just like
He's kind of staring at you, like, you can kind of tell there's a bit of distrust in his eyes.
and he just considering what my character does, he's just like he registers it. He doesn't actually show a change in his demeanor whatsoever. He just keeps like it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Blake. You do shake hands out here, don't you?
I was about to say, he's already, like, grabbing your hand. Charmed.
Likewise.
There's a bit of, like, pressure on it.
Oh, and just like the maintaining
he seems
poker face.
a lot stronger than he looks.
I can appreciate those countryside sensibilities.
Releases.
And I am Ukvar. And I'll shake his hand.
He shakes yours.
Ukvar. He does the pressure thing. Remember, you have to do that right for the sake of I don't quite have the proper grip for it like you would. I was just like staring at this guy like so just
Charmed.
Yes. I'll return the pressure on his hand.
He doesn't actually grip yours all that hard. He
Okay.
kind of just firm, but not like crushing.
All right. Well, I will still give him some pressure.
They're getting closer.
Sorry, we have dogs barking here.
no, they're just the wolves. They're
They're the
just
wolves.
like
They're
they're just trying to fake us out now and
The
sound like they need
chihuahuas.
pets.
Yeah.
Oh man, they sound so cute. Let's go ahead and pat them. And that is how they lost Lucas.
That's how they eat you, yeah.
This is
That's
how they get you.
100% how Poppy would die. Ooh, they sound so cute.
Sebastian kind of looks to Lucas. You should go and get dressed. The lady will have to be soon.
The lady is cooking. We can talk.
Oh yes, that's already been arranged. So yes, if you'd both stay here, we were actually told by the lady to inquire a bit more since you seemed more savvy. If it would be easier though, we can do this one-on-one. If you'd like, you can speak with me and Ukvar can deal with Lucas if that might be more amenable to your situation. And he's just like he's expecting like Sebastian is just going to stonewall him, but he just wants them not in the same room.
Mm.
If we must, and if it is the lady's wish, we shall discuss it. Please be brief, though, as we have other duties to take care of.
That is understandable. We just want to know as much as you can fill us in about the situation, the injuries that have been caused, since that might help us figure things out a bit better, as well as more details on the things that have gone missing and other odd happenings, if you can think of any, that might altogether help paint a picture so we can figure things out.
Well, as far as I know, the things that have gone missing appear to be entirely random. An old memento from the previous master. An old hat from his grandfather. The grandmother's remains.
The whole
They're
remains.
just gone.
Hmm.
Shins from some of the servants missing. Tombstones of random servants. There seems to be no logical reasoning as to why, or any methodology. Gone.
And when did this start?
A few weeks ago. It's very concerning.
And the Miss Caroline, the lady of the house, said something about activity at the edges of the woods, where
The unfortunate fellow that we just got back from burying was found at the edge of the woods after he decided to go investigate because he had supposedly found the tracks of something. Apparently,
Did he
all he met
mention-
was wolves.
Did he
Judging from the way
mention at
he
all where he'd found the tracks before venturing off?
He mentioned that he found them going from the crypt, from the graveyard. He had apparently been doing random research, investigation. I feel like he should have just stayed safe and made sure that the lady was kept safe. That is our duty. Simply should have awaited for the adventurers to arrive.
but what about the previous group?
I'm not sure what happened to them.
No
They-
sign of them.
They had come in and asked admittedly much less specific questions than you. I believe they were a bit too fresh, too eager. And they just went out and never came back. They figured perhaps they just would not find anything to their liking. Perhaps they just decided that this was not worth their time. Perhaps they got too frightened. Some of the other aspects.
So they never returned to touch base with you. Do you know when they left, and perhaps if they ever did venture to investigate the occurrences?
Oh, at this point it would have been about a week and a half ago. They had arrived and they ventured out, and that was the last we saw.
Okay.
And they didn't say if they're actually going to be pursuing the leads or not?
They said they were going to go and do some investigating, but they seemed headstrong.
Hmm.
They also did not seem like they did not seem like they would make particularly good career adventurers, if you catch my meaning.
So for adventuring types, you'd imagine would make a lot of tracks, or at least anything. You haven't found any leftovers of their kits or anything that they may have left anywhere? Strayed lantern that you don't recall being somewhere? Anything that might have at least indicated that they had been in a nearby area?
They may have determined roughly much the same as the unfortunate fellow that we just had to bury, that there might be something out in the woods. My best guess is if they did not in fact return, which, judging from you lot being here, and the fact that they did not touch base with the person in Crossroads, that they probably went out into the woods and either got lost or something happened.
Well, I mean, if they're lost, we will probably find them.
Or
If
at
they're
least
not
their
lost, we will probably find them. He doesn't laugh, but it's just like the corner of his mouth does quirk up in like a smirk.
And you haven't seen anything, Sebastian.
I have not seen anything, but he kind of, like, about this time is when the tea is starting to come in.
Okay.
Ah, my lady.
Hmm.
Excuse us for just a moment. Like,
Yeah, we'll
motioning
get back to that.
motioning to the lady, actually.
Okay.
Like, motioning to Caroline, he's like, excuse us for just a moment, my lady. We will be with you momentarily, and, like, pulls you away from the door frame. And kind of just...
And like Willard actually goes quiet here for a second and just waits for her to like leave.
Yeah. Ukbar leans in as if to listen.
There have been noises which initially made me think that perhaps there was some type of grave robber perusing the grounds. But with the things that were stolen, that did not make type of sense. Nothing of value stolen.
So going to just don the role of the consummate professional. Willard, like know-it-all, pulls out this book from like his clothes, just like, not necessarily true. There could be other types of grave robbers. We'll be certain to look into it. Just like, I totally know what I'm talking about.
What can you describe the noises?
Well, there appeared to be some type of... Even... It happened close to the house, and has happened occasionally. Some type of scuffling, scratching. But every time we go to investigate, it's nothing.
When was the most recent time that happened around the house?
Almost a week ago, I want to say.
Okay.
And have you heard anything since then?
As soon as he says that, Rue uses minor illusion to cast a wolf sound into the room. Like a normal wolf, like not like a weird wolf, like a normal wolf sound, just to see if this is the freaking noise or if there's another sound we should be listening for.
Well, currently you're in the dining hall.
We walk
Sebastian
back
is
in, right?
Yeah. You're like in the dining hall, aren't you? They like brought in tea
Yeah.
to the dining hall. They're
They
currently
did.
out in the like hallway.
Oh, I didn't realize they left. I thought they were just in like the corner.
Yeah,
Oh no,
they-
because we
they
pulled them
left
aside
the
to
room.
intercept them. We
Never
went to
mind.
like intercept them so they couldn't.
Okay, I was
interfere
about to
and
say,
meet up
wait,
with
are you
Caroline.
doing that? Because they're out in the hallway.
Sorry.
No worries.
I mean, I wouldn't put it past her to just sit there like
Arr!
casually, like sitting beside the door, just sort of eavesdropping.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure. But at the same time, I thought you were closer than you are, so that was my bad.
Harry.
Although, actually, 10 on 10 trolling. Thank you. Can I steal that idea? Because guess who also has minor illusion?
Oh no. Oh
And you asked the question if he'd heard anything after that. So
Yeah. I'm not going with the wolf howl though. I'm being worse about it. Because I could use my precious book of shadows to fuck. It's just a minor illusion for scratching behind the walls, like right behind him. Because I'm a fucking troll.
Like what kind of scratching? Because there's the like.
Oh, I'm thinking long drawn out scratching. Like if something with like long nails just dragged its hands along the wall.
It hasn't. You do that, and you kind of. It's never come from inside the house.
It was akin to that?
He's like, he immediately is like going into the study next door to like try looking in, and Lucas is kind of just sitting there like trying not to laugh because he was paying more attention to you, and there's at least some minor thing you have to do to make that. I know that. Like it can be subtle.
So he just so he like sees that and he's like, and then he just looks and it's like the grin. So pretty close to that, you'd say. To Lucas.
Something like that. It's usually further off. Our rooms are on the 3rd floor after all.
But much the same noise.
Something like that.
All right. That was educational. Is there anything you'd like to add here? And he's like looking over at Ukvar like...
I think we've learned everything we can from them.
Yeah, I am sorry for the slight bit of disquiet there. And he just very quietly like grinning at Lucas, mostly.
Okay.
We
In
have
the
some
interim-
to get to.
Yes, we should return to
Yes, that's it. You all are returning to the dining hall. While you all have been interrogating the butlers, Poppy!
I
You-
think Poppy has been
immediately go
using
out-
that interrogation to her advantage too.
Yeah.
She's
So
just opening doors and looking for like a study or an office or some sort of thing like
okay.
that.
So the door immediately on the other side of the hallway, like when you come out of the hallway, or since I come out of the dining room, the door immediately opposite does appear to be some type of like lounge / study. Like there are some books, but it's a lot more like the social room.
Can she find one that has like a? If she doesn't, would she assume that like the personal study, like something with a desk or something like that, would be upstairs? Probably.
You would probably venture a guess, yes.
Okay.
But
So I'm going to dip in there, and I want to like search on these book walls for like a family album, a family history type of thing.
and you're talking about on this ground floor lounge area.
Yes.
Yeah?
Mhm.
Okay. So one of the things that you do notice immediately is they do have a fireplace. It's a fairly simple fireplace. Like they for some reason did not decide to ornate the hell out of this one. But up above the fireplace there is a very lovely painting of what appears to be a gentleman and a small girl.
Is there a emblem on the painting that says what it is, or is it just the frame and just the painting?
It's just the frame in the painting.
Okay. Yeah, she's gonna look at that for a long moment. Get a little creeped out by it, because everything in this house is creepy. and like move side to side just to make sure the eyes aren't following her. You know,
They are
how
not
you
in
do.
fact following you.
Yeah, she just does that, and then takes a breath out. And
also the secondary question: do you have dark vision? I don't think you.
no, I don't.
Okay.
Not as a changeling.
Surprisingly, the moon is lighting up this room well enough to actually see fairly clear, but there's no like torches or lamps burning in it because they hadn't had that need yet.
Yeah, I think she's going to. Is there anything in the kindling of the fire? Like it looks like anything's been burned recently.
It looks like probably the last time that it got used was probably about like a week and a half ago, you would guess.
Okay. Then yeah, I think she'll just, with as much light as she's got, she's gonna look through these bookcases to find if there's like a family history book or something like that.
Uh, there doesn't really seem to be anything like that in the current study now. I should say the lounge. Not really a study.
Then yeah, I think she'll put her ear to the door to like see if the coast is clear, and then step out and join everyone back in the dining area, the dining hall.
Well, I will say that the room also has another exit on the north side as well. So if you came
Oh.
through on the east, there's another door on the north.
Oh, I'll actually go there then. And I will put my ear up to the door to see if I hear anything. But if I don't hear anything, I'm going to just peek in.
You don't
I'm not going to go.
You don't seem to
in
hear
all the way.
anything like on the other side of the door.
Mhm.
You kind of hear like slight murmurings, but you're not sure if it's coming from the other side of the door or if it's coming from like the other door that you came in from.
Mm-hmm. If it's unlocked, I just want to have a little peek-see inside to see like what this other room is.
You pop open the door. It seems to lead into another hallway.
Too many
Pop-
fucking hallways in this.
Poppy's just like, this is very confusing. And but it doesn't seem to be connected to the hallway we were previously in. It seems to be its own.
When you
little...
like if you're just poking out a little bit to like see what's in the room, all you see is that it's a hallway because you can see that there's like just
Gotcha.
another wall on the other side. Once you pop out a bit more and you look to the right, you see the staircase and you see the other hallway that it was connected to.
Gotcha.
You also
Okay,
see
then...
another hallway on the other side.
Oh my god.
Well, like, if you're looking to the right, you see the staircase, and beyond it is the hallway next to what you would guess is the dining room.
Okay. Then she'll walk out that door, and I think that's when she'll go back into the dining hall. Sort of like trying to blend in with, like, I was always here. You just didn't see me, you know?
They're still in the middle of like the conversation. At this point, the tea has been brought in, and like Sebastian is currently just dragging Willard and Ukvar off to the side. So you kind of like sneak deep.
Yeah.
As Rue and Caroline are just setting down the tea, so you just pop in and like, yeah, I was totally here in the corner.
Yeah, I was just listening. That's all that happened. Did you get the tea made? Is everything... She sort of looks at Rue. Was everything all right?
It was quite uneventful.
Well, that's good. I don't think we can handle an event right now. We're not exactly prepared for it. Caroline, do you... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Caroline, would you consider Sebastian and Lucas, your servants, would you consider them competent at their job?
Yes, fairly competent. Sebastian's been helping my family since long before I was born.
Just curious, just had some
Lucas
questions.
is fairly young and he's come from the crossroads fairly recently, but he seems to be learning fairly quickly.
I think Poppy just takes that chance to sit down and already goes to pour herself a cup of tea.
Rue does nothing to stop you.
That's fine. Yeah,
from pouring
that's
the tea. But she definitely takes that opportunity to pour up a cup of tea for Caroline specifically. Ignores the rest of you. She doesn't care. But does make sure she pours up a cup of for Caroline and offers it to her.
Okay. She's kind of like, oh, thank you.
I don't
And kind
think
of
Poppy's
takes it.
going to drink the tea. She's more holding it in just like a, oh, if I'm holding it, maybe everyone else will be more comfortable and have tea. She's not actually drinking it herself.
Oh, I think it'd be great to just sidle in, sit down, get myself a cup of tea, and use prestidigitation to add the taste of cream wine to it because it's the closest I can get to booze in this house. And this is how I get poisoned.
Yeah, Ugvar follows suit into the little dining area, the room that we're in, but he won't drink any tea.
It's a good little druid. You know what's up.
Civilization, can't trust it.
Oh,
Exactly.
Ukvar, would you like to inform them of our findings? Partly because it's already starting to just slip out of my mind. And no, that's actually why. I need
Sure.
this tea to wake up. Skid.
Good luck with that. No, so
My
yeah,
brief moment of competency passed.
we'll have to find you some more booze, I think. But yeah, so I'll relay to Poppy and Rue what we learned from Sebastian. Basically, that the first group of adventurers came out. They didn't pass Sebastian's rigorous test, whatever he used, his mind test, but they went out and never came back. The servant they just buried was doing his own investigations around the grave robbing and the tombs and such, and was found, I suppose, found at the edges of the forest.
Because there was tracks leading from there to the woods.
Yes, that's right, the tracks. And all of this has been going on for a couple of weeks. And then the raiding party or the adventuring party disappeared like a week and a half ago, and the servant yesterday, I don't know. And
they haven't even found traces of the adventuring party, unlike the servant, who they definitely found traces of. A little here, a little here.
There's missing shin bones, missing trinkets from the tombs and things, and strange noises around the house that they haven't been able to identify.
Which, incidentally, by the way, like as he's now holding this cup of tea, he like wiggles his fingers around behind the teacup and just like causes the noise to sort of appear like right along the wall, like that.
And that's about all I remember from our conversation.
Well, I think the only thing left for us to do is to investigate, but do we want to do that tonight when the moon is high? And it's not a full moon, we don't have to worry about that, but do we want to go back out there?
Hey, Rue, would you like to go and have a moonlit jaunt over towards the crypt? And just like really flat and just looking at her like, would you like to?
My eyes work quite well at night.
Yes, I think she would like to strike while the... Man, I was going to say while the hammer is hot.
While the grave is cold.
I mean, while the grave is warm currently.
The grave is warm, yeah.
Strike while the meat is fresh.
Well,
I mean, what's the worst that can happen? We just end up lost like a bunch of other adventurers, right?
No.
Yes, lost.
Worst.
Should I stretch out the lost?
I think we all get it.
Just like very like sips.
Does it? Caroline has not really drunk any of the tea because you all started talking about this, and she's just looking horrified. Like,
Rue, in a moment of maternal instinct, or not, definitely not maternal instinct, puts her hand on the woman's shoulder and just says, "Drink up. You need to warm up."
It'll do well for your spirits and the nerves. It's also why I asked if you had alcohol, because that does really good for the spirit and the nerves, getting spirits in
she
you.
drinks.
Well,
Yeah.
while Blake is making his little speech about spirits, Rue once again looks at him and is like, "You have enough spirit." But then very, intentionally watches Caroline sip. Once she sips, once she has started to consume this beverage, Rue will saddle up on next to her on, I'm assuming she's seated on a bench or a couch or something.
Just a chair. Yeah.
Chair. She'll grab a chair. She'll manifest a chair. She'll do something to get a chair there and take a seat. Is there anything you haven't told us?
I mean, not that I'm aware of. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty that I haven't told you. It's, a lot of family history.
Is there any?
She's very blankly staring at you like, yeah, I'm guessing there is a lot that I haven't told you, but I didn't think now was the time for a history lesson.
Any family enemies?
Or alternatively, anything that might be of interest that may have occurred like this in past. Curious little scandals that seem to crop up in families, and he's like alternating between like, should I sip this? Should I not sip this? Was that a sips anyway? Slightly is like, I mean, not quite enough spirits in me.
I can't really think of any time that this has happened that I'm aware of. I don't know everything about everything that happened in its history, but I don't recall hearing anything. Grandfather.
Is there anyone else in the house?
No, it's just me, Lucas, and Sebastian at this point.
But you hear sounds in the house?
Not in the house. There's sounds outside the house. Although tonight there has been some sounds from inside the house, and that actually concerning. I haven't heard those sounds
By the
inside
way,
the house before.
just so Willard just like,
Willard's
Spit take.
Lucas is like kind of sitting near her, just he is trying so hard to keep a straight face, just like
Oh, it sounds like something's wanting to get in.
maybe it never seems to be doing it from the front of the house. It is trying. Doesn't know how. Maybe it's not smart enough to know how a door works. I'm probably
Rue gets like right up in her
that's probably
face.
for the best, but
Rue's about to cross the line, y'all, just so you know. Warning. Rue's gonna get right up in her face and just say, "And it's just you with the men?
yes,
No one else."
correct.
How old is Lucas? I don't know if I was here for that. Were you?
18.
Lucas
He's
is like 18.
-ish.
So he's a man. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel better about that now. Okay, with her once again being as daft as possible, Rue is just going to pull back away from her. There's absolutely nothing to value from her brain. So
Willard being super helpful right after she said, it's like, yes, if it doesn't know how, I would suggest not inviting anything else in the house. Sometimes that's all they need. really cheerfully. Right after she invites 4 strangers. Yep,
Perfect.
you know, it's good. It's good. We're the best people.
Anyways, it's getting rather late. We should all probably retire for evening.
Where's the crypt exactly?
There's actually a path behind the house that leads out towards it. Well, to be fair, I've only ever taken like leisurely strolls towards it, so it's always taken me about an hour to get out there.
Rue is going to look at Lucas in a way that I would say is somewhat intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
And fail at
Oh
that.
no.
So she's probably gonna like slip a little bit on the floor, or like kind of, be an old woman. And say something like, you can take us.
If it makes you feel any better, Lucas, it'll be all 4 of us, and we are quite old hat at this.
Speak
Might
for
be.
yourself.
I really do apologize. I am very tired from. I still have my other duties to take care of before the evening finishes.
But Lucas, what if we get out there and get lost? You know the way back and we don't. You don't want us to end up lost, right? Can I persuade?
don't.
Can I try to persuade?
You can try persuasion, yeah.
Is there a way to assist on rolls?
Oh my god, these rolls!
Terrible.
And is there a way to assist on rolls?
That's
You can
like use your action to help and give advantage.
Yeah.
But
Okay. Yeah, it's just like a truly it would be appreciated, and it would help to provide her peace of mind. I mean, I guess roll that like advantage thing.
yeah, so go ahead and roll
Try
one
for
more.
it.
Oh, a 23 that time.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that please.
Bobby's making
Well-
like big doe eyes.
He's seeming like he's wanting to, but like there's something very, very hesitant about it, and Caroline just, I know the way. I'll help lead you. He does have duties to complete.
But, and I want to make sure before we depart, you've only taken leisurely strolls to the crypt?
I've only walked, so I haven't gone there with intent. So it typically is to go and pay respects.
Do you know anything about the crypt structure?
It's not a particularly large crypt, but yes, I do know of the structure. I've had to find my grandfather's, I guess remains is the right word. Tomb, something. Regardless, I should be able to manage.
I am concerned this will be too much for you, given your frail state.
I'm not that frail.
But aren't you, though? I'm gonna try to intimidate her one more fucking time. What the hell? I drugged her tea. Like, she should be she should be on her ass right now.
We find out she's a lich. nice old lady lich. My servants keep
She's not
dying,
even-
and it
she's not
isn't
even
me
that
killing
old.
them.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
I'm
she's
so
not even that
suspicious of
old.
Sebastian, and it's
She
her.
just has a tolerance that rivals Willard's. That's
I was
all
gonna
it
say,
is.
She's not.
Wait,
she's
wait,
not
wait,
even
yeah,
that
no.
old. She's like maybe 30s.
That's the reason why all the spirits in the house are gone. She got to them
She drank them all.
She drank them all.
this
Oh, yeah,
afternoon.
I will be fine. I have had to I have had to walk these grounds, all of them.
Did you
Occasionally.
walk the last party?
No, I did not. As I said, they seemed rather. Oh, I don't remember telling you anything about them. Oh, that must have been Sebastian. That's right.
Hmm.
They seemed very headstrong and just headed out. That's why I figured they either just weren't interested or they didn't see anything to their liking and left.
Yes, we're very polite. We like to ask questions first.
Also, we're not idiots.
There's also that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then, we should go. I don't want to waste any more time.
Very well.
Mhm.
Lucas,
Yes,
fetch
if
me.
we're going tonight.
Lucas,
Let's go.
fetch me one of the lanterns.
Lucas, are you sure you're tired?
I am sure. I have to. I am the only one who cleans the house now, since Stephen is no longer with us. All his duties now fall to me.
He's the one you buried tonight.
Yes.
Another dead man?
Yes?
The only good man's a dead man.
He kind of
But-
like questioningly like, why does that matter? And then you say that and he Oh.
There's nothing in this house that indicates there's any kind of like religious or deification of anything. Like the house is ornate, but not necessarily.
It's
Um,
ornate, but it doesn't seem like particularly any type of like god or anything, at least nothing that you immediately recognize.
It's ornate strictly with an eye to aesthetics rather than any sort of obvious intent.
Basically.
Opulent wealth, not necessarily any. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
So on that note, since I've been like staring at this teacup for like God knows how long because of my occasional very tiny sips to it, but mostly distrusting it. Can I tell if it's like china or bone china? I'm just curious about that, to be fair.
It seems like mostly just China.
Okay. Well, I mean, you can tell a difference by the way it stains. So
Yeah.
it'd be a funny rich person thing. Like, yeah, just we make teacups out of our family members, whatever.
Why do you laugh?
Yeah, in Rue's family.
This
Yeah.
is how I make my drinking cups.
This is how we honor our dead.
Fair. But yes, Lucas runs and fetches like a lantern and kind of a traveler's cloak and places it on Caroline.
Doesn't give her a weapon?
He kind of gives her like a torch with like the lantern. That's about all we got.
Y'all, I'm worried.
I mean,
we,
it's
weren't
not like
hired, we weren't hired for protection.
it's not like it's not like the
We're
end.
not bodyguards.
It's not like the person that we're sent here to fix the problem of. It's not like we drug them and are taking them to a dangerous area.
No, without a weapon.
I didn't do that at all. I did not
Oh, not at
drug
all.
her.
Or intimidate them because you didn't. Sorry. That's fine.
Also, who else was having like you had the tea, but did anyone else have the tea? I know Ukvar
No,
didn't.
no one else had tea.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
That's
Poppy
kinda what I thought.
pretended to, but she was doing it more for like to reassure Caroline.
Right, just hold my cup. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Willard didn't finish it, but he did definitely drink from it repeatedly because it was better than nothing, and he really wanted to prestidigitate it to have an alcohol taste.
Fair.
Just informed poor decisions.
Informed. No, yes, he gives her a traveling cloak, a torch, and a lantern.
And we start off
Yep, and you start off.
as we are leaving the porch or whatever to enter the backyard, I'm assuming.
Mhm.
Rue kind of bites her teeth and sort of like hisses at Lucas as we walk away. Mediocre.
Mediocre.
And then we depart.
He seems to be, like, as you're leaving, he seems to be, like, shutting the door and going about cleaning. The house was pretty, like, immaculate, spotless.
Although technically that wasn't his doing, it was the other guy's doing.
Exactly.
Steven.
Yeah.
Steven.
We don't get to know how immaculate his cleaning is unless we get stranded here for a few weeks. If we get stranded here for a few weeks, I'm pretty sure he's not going to. I mean, we'll need
there
rations.
does appear to be, like, as an aside, anyone who's even bothering to look up at the sky, like, the moon is definitely there, but you can see that there's, like, clouds kind of rolling in.
You know what? Solution. Since I'm just gonna use like my quarterstaff as a walking stick, I'm just gonna light cantrip that fucking thing. So we are brightly like 20 zone of just nicely illuminated area around us because fuck being out in like a horrible black darkness.
And you've just made us targets.
Whatever. Most things aren't actually gonna go towards like the super bright illuminated area.
Rue hangs back as you guys advance because she has dark vision and she finds this illumination grotesque.
You're just like, it's like, it's finally getting done.
My cataracts!
My cataracts!
Yes, Ugvar also stays on the edge of the light because I also have dark vision.
I don't, so I'm using this light. Just
yeah.
Gimme.
Bit of an upgrade over the lantern. While we're going, by the way, he's just like towards Caroline. So what are all the duties that they've had to assume since the gradual reduction of your staff over time due to
Well, initially we had a few people to assist in keeping up. As you can probably tell, it's a fairly large house. Before, we had a few people to help clean in the mornings and the evenings. Since we've been dwindling down, they've had to take on more and more responsibilities, which takes up more and more of their time. Some of them initially were taking care of the grounds. Some of them were specifically on kitchen duty, making sure that things were stocked, making sure that things were kept neat and orderly. Now Sebastian and Lucas have to do all of that.
And by the way, just as an aside, because did we see a single weapon whatsoever in the house? Yada. I mean, even a fire poker or something. Anything.
A crowbar.
A hammer.
A knife.
A shovel.
A toothpick.
They have to dig with something, right?
Oh yeah, Lucas runs back. Wait, I got you! And he just hands over a spoon, and it's the most fucking dangerous.
No wonder the kid's tired.
Well, she kind of hesitates and, well, I suppose I can show you since you're actually the ones hired to do this. And she kind of like reaches in to like a side kind of fold in her tunic and like pulls out a dagger that she's kind of just got stashed. I kind of have one, but I prefer not to appear as if I do.
Works in a pinch. Good plan. I would suggest putting it back to continue that whole impression of being unarmed. That first decisive strike always helps when you stick them in the. And he just stops. He's like, right. Don't give the client
You do know how to
adventuring
use it.
things.
Hey.
You do know how to. You know to use the pointy end, right?
Yes, I know how to use the point. I've had to prepare meals at least.
No. We mean like in the practice of a living thing. Do you know how to put it to use on something that is alive and trying to do you harm?
I am not proficiently trained, no, but to be entirely fair, neither are Lucas or Sebastian.
But yet, you're alive.
Yes? She kind of like...
Something has killed your friends, your servants. Your father is gone and you know not where he is. We can presume he's dead.
We can presume he's dead.
How are you alive?
Sheer numbers, I'm guessing.
Oh, actually, also small question. When you take your like jaunts off to the cemetery or just leaving the house, when do you normally go?
Normally not in the middle of the night.
Okay, when have the disappearances normally happened?
In the middle of the night.
They just stares over and like, I think this might actually solve the question of how they were still alive. Was I just mouths like common sense.
Yeah, don't go out at midnight
Don't
to the
go out at
graveyard.
night.
Poppy's just going along, big smile on her face. She really loves this.
This is...
Just like, I don't want to be here right now.
Enough of the servants of my family have died. If anyone is going to die tonight in helping you find it, it should be me.
Don't worry. I mean, if they get all of us and the servants, assumptions are they'll probably starve to death afterwards anyways, if they primarily prey on. He just like stops again. He's like, I still... Sorry. I like still waking up a little bit. It was a rough journey.
It's fine. I'm
keeping an eye out just for anything approaching or any kind of danger while they're having their civilized conversations.
Is this civil though?
quote unquote
Bar
civil.
wouldn't know.
Quote unquote civil.
Yeah.
My... Oh. Regardless. We've lost enough so far. Now then. As long as we don't hear any of noises, we should be okay. I think. She
What
kind of like...
noises.
She kind of... Well, I guess we did hear the scratching, but it's never come from inside the house before. It's very strange.
But I mean, was there other noises that accompany it normally?
Typically, there's scratching. There's usually some type of like almost a growling occasionally, but it's usually very far off.
I just
I think I broke Rue.
Well, at least it's
I
not a
need
full
to
moon, Rue.
understand where the scratching happens.
It
Because
happens.
you said it wasn't in the house initially.
Well, every time that we've heard the scratching before, it's been on the outside of the house. Tonight, it was coming from inside the house. It's concerning. I'm
So
hoping
like
that
while they're
Lucas
doing
is
it, it's just
okay.
like awakened mind thing over to Rue. The inside of the house was me trying to figure out if the noise was what they were familiar with.
It seemed a little bit not quite different, but just maybe it's because it was closer. It didn't sound.
Maybe you
quite
have
right.
rats inside of your house. We shouldn't focus on that. We should focus on the scratching on the outside of the house that's led to deaths.
Right.
Was there a specific side of the house that you said near the back? I believe.
Typically near the back. Yes.
Hmm. And that faces the crypt, correct?
Correct. Yes.
No tracks or anything after you discovered the scratching. You
Actually-
don't actually see any scratch marks or anything, do you?
Hey, Ukvar, can
Hmm.
you see any tracks while we're venturing in this direction? We're well illuminated. You know,
Yeah. I
may
would
as well put our merry jaunt in the twilight to use.
Yes, I would happily take a look. So what should I use? Survival or?
Yes, survival. If you're looking for
All right.
tracks.
Yeah, I'll do that. The 19.
Since you're not rolling with advantage, it'd actually be the 14. Anytime
Okay,
without
so-
advantage is going to be the low.
All right, so with the 14 then.
Yeah. You can kind of see some tracks. Like, you definitely see a lot of footprints that are fairly recent. There appear to be some going out this way and some coming back this way.
Probably Sebastian and Lucas.
Would
There
there be deeper tracks? Because if there's adventurers, there'd probably be heavier set in because of armor.
But those would be at least a week old.
they'd be like at least a week and a half, yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
They might be more noticeable than a bunch of guys in dress clothes, though.
So I'd say there does occasionally appear to be a rather deeper imprint in the dirt.
Is it reminiscent of the tracks that I found by the pile of bones on the road, or is it something different?
It is something different. It looks
Okay.
more similar to like a boot print.
That's probably the adventurers then. Oh, well, I'll point the tracks out to my compatriots and
When Rue sees the tracks, she will investigate them further using her survival skillage.
Survival skillage.
Hey, she is a multi-talented ancient woman.
Yes.
Are you fucking goddamn killing me? What is it? Like, there has to be some cap on like how many shitty ass terrible goddamn rolls.
I mean, if you'd had advantage, it would have been amazing.
I'm sorry, you apparently got Arlie's luck tonight.
Yeah, I know, right?
I
I mean,
And
to be
there.
fair, my luck was just an average ass fucking 10 so far.
My luck was an average ass 10 too. So thanks.
So what are you trying to ascertain exactly? I got caught up in the terrible roll.
You're welcome.
The age and direction was what I was intending to discover.
It with the 10 there's not too much you can tell. You
No.
can tell that it's a little bit older, and it is going towards the crypt.
Yeah. Is that can we see do those heavier tracks, do they just stop or do they continue as we continue up the path toward the crypt?
You only really find one like every so often because this road, or I should say this path, does seem to get traveled a fair amount. there
Okay.
is a lot of like shrubberies and things along the path that seem to be fairly well kept.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you would venture a guess that the Sebastian or Lucas or whoever was supposed to be groundskeeper would make back and forth on the
this
regular.
is routine a
Yeah.
routine trip for them. Okay.
Are we getting closer to the crypt? I think we're
You
probably
are
walking with purpose.
You are walking with purpose. It probably only takes you about 20-30 minutes since you're walking like with purpose.
We're not on a leisurely midnight stroll.
Yeah. The entrance to the crypt is again fairly relatively ornate. Probably
Do
about
I-
like 10 feet high currently, just at the entrance anyway.
I would like to see if I recognize any of the religious carvings on the crypt to see if it's anything new or old. New gods, old gods. Whatever.
Go right ahead and make a religion check.
Yeah,
I'm
great.
gonna assist on that since I am lovely and trained.
Ooh.
How is
which-
this like
Oh wait,
Well,
if
you-
you're
If you're-
assisted, you get
yeah,
advantage.
He's
So it'll be a
assisting,
22.
so it's a 22.
You're welcome.
thank you.
Thank you. Something actually happened.
We finally can advance something other than just whatever it is they're wanting to tell us. Ugh.
You are probably going to be
Disappointed.
So goddamn disappointed.
you are probably going to be disappointed because there's nothing really unusual about any of the like gods or anything. It just seems to be like they're
Basic bitch rich people shit.
It's kind of basic bitch rich people shit. It's literally just like
You're just sure
Oh,
it's that.
I really am not up on D. So you'll have to forgive me the name.
See,
but
oh,
essentially
this is
the good gods of
nice.
death.
Did I
The
get
Not
standard,
Wolf.
the standard
Not
god
Wolf.
of death.
As Rue circles the crypt looking at this average mediocre structure.
Mediocre.
She just kind of says to the wind, not necessarily for anyone to hear her, humans are so boring.
Who knows?
I'm
Maybe
gonna look
inside
for
there will be
tracks
more
around the
interesting things. Although, fun note, the door is
a jar?
Tell
how's
me
that
it's
say?
open.
The door is kind of ajar, but
Inside. Rue goes inside.
More specifically, like it
Immediately.
is ajar, but like a chunk of the rather large stone door that was supposed to be in there is just like missing.
Mhm.
Rue goes inside
I'll follow.
immediately.
Yeah, Poppy will too.
I'm
There's just
gonna-
like a.
She'll look at Carolyn and be like,
We shouldn't leave her alone. Actually, outside. That's
Oh, I'm staying outside.
Oh, okay.
She's
Nice.
walked here before. She'll be fine.
do you mind if I borrow your lantern?
You're gonna take her lantern?
She kind of
has night vision.
Oh
kind
no!
of-
I mean, why do you need the lantern? And he just is like,
light.
staff. Like,
Yeah, right, because Willard still has his cantrip
Oh,
going.
I forgot about the cantrip. Yeah.
I could just keep refreshing that thing like all
She's
day
just kind of
long.
like, I suppose if you really need the lantern, I could just light the torch and start walking back.
I don't even think it's not even a concentration spell either. So it's just
No,
like
it's just-
blink. Yeah, he just refreshes it so it's good for another hour. And he's like, "Do you wanna?" I mean,
Oh,
I
then
can.
never mind. We'll be fine with this.
Okay. As you can see, it's a relatively straight path. Are you requiring me to stay out here, or
I mean,
Yes.
I wouldn't really suggest walking back on your own with wolves, people. That seems like a not so prudent thing right now. There is
That
presence.
is fair.
Hmm. I mean,
should I come?
he's
in
just
with-
like
should I come
he
in with
stops
you,
because he's about to be like,
or-
unless you want to be. A
I don't want to
distraction."
get in the way of your investigation, but at the same time, would me just standing out here not also be the exact equivalent of walking back by myself?
No, because Ukvar is going to stay with you. It seems.
Yes, I'm not
Oh.
going in the crypt.
Oh, okay.
Rue
is-
is like
this is
super
acceptable.
pissed that you guys have prevented her from going inside, and so she's gonna look back at her and be like, "Do you
Guys.
think you can contribute if you come inside?"
I mean, I suppose the most I could really do is tell you what's missing. Like,
That could be helpful.
but it's all just random garbage.
Still could be helpful. There's
She's
some-
gonna message
Oh,
over.
We're professionals, so
To
we'll
Blake?
decide what's random.
Okay.
So Rue is gonna message Blake and be like, "Or we can sacrifice her if we."
He just he like looks, nods, sort of shrugs. That's it. And like, because awakened mind right back. I mean, all we have to be is faster than her.
Oh my god.
Congratulations,
it.
the real monsters were the players after all.
Always.
The horror in this horror campaign was us.
Surprise! That is the twist. We revealed it in episode 1. But she'll start going down. Just okay.
Okay, I will still remain on the outside of the crypt. I'm looking for tracks or other signs. So roll my survival. Nothing.
On my end, as we're going in,
Nothing out of the ordinary, Ukvar. At least ordinary.
Right.
time to tempt fate with a proper skill check for this night.
Uh-oh.
I have investigation, and we're going into the crypt. This seems like the perfect time to do it.
Okay.
Can I assist him on that?
You absolutely
It
can,
won't
but how are
fucking
you
matter.
assisting him and what are you actually doing, Willard?
It
Ouch.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, you saw that roll.
Uh-oh.
What are you assisting him in? And just promptly, it's him being like, oh, my head is killing me. There's the hangover.
Maverick synopsis. Oh god. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a crypt.
It's a crypt.
Things are kind of strewn about, but maybe that's just their decorating choice.
Whatever. Maybe if someone else has a jaunty hat, I'll steal it and I can chalk it up to crypt things and keep it.
Is this
He does
a,
not say that out loud, but he's muttering that.
Is this a deep crypt? Like, does it have like a long pathway to follow, or did we sort of walk into the whole of it and there's the crypts that we see on the wall and so forth?
It's essentially just like a relatively small crypt. Like it's a decent sized room that does seem to have quite a few like caskets, but it's not like a lengthy labyrinthine crypt.
Gotcha.
There's probably something like 16 caskets, all things considered.
Which
Any-
one was buried more recently? She like is just sort of following the light and looking.
Probably the most recent one would be a grandfather? She kind of seems slightly confused. Like, I guess? It's been a
Where
while.
would your father be buried if he were here?
If he were here...
Oh, because they would actually have, because Noble, they'd have the casket already made.
She kind of like walks by. and is kind of like walking down the line. Because, like, there's essentially... it's essentially like 8 generations have been buried, and each side has, like, father, or like husband, wife, husband, wife, husband, wife. So she just walks down to the end of the line and is kind of on the one side. And well,
Not a whole lot of room for other kids or anything.
here's the casket.
Also, have any other caskets on the way look like they've been disturbed?
Well, I was gonna ask that as we followed her down. I'd like to not just investigate, but do specifically an Arcana check to see if there's anything happening here or happened to these remains as we.
Go ahead and roll the Arcana.
That is fucking bullshit. I have a +5 to Arcana. Like,
I mean, hey, at least if it's obvious, you might find it.
if it's obvious.
Once she reaches like the second to last casket, aka her grandfather, like there definitely seems to be some type of like the casket's been disturbed slightly.
Are they like in the wall? Like it's the kind of crypt where they're like all the caskets are
Yes.
inside the wall and you have to
Yes.
pull them out. Yeah, Rue immediately just starts yanking on that sucker.
There also appears like there's kind of like decorations outside that have, you know, like portraits, and they're not like portraits, but, you know, like smaller sized,
Like cameos?
yeah, something like that.
I think while we're in here, Poppy sort of is still looking around, and she is going to.
And there's a couple from like a couple generations prior that are just missing those cameos and like some other just decorative things.
So there are things missing.
There are things missing, yes.
Poppy's going to clutch this like necklace made of bones around her neck, and her eyes are going to go black. And I'm going to do Eyes of the Grave. Oh, it didn't say what it was. Just to be, she just sort of says, just to be certain. And I know the location of any undead within 60 feet that isn't behind total cover or isn't protected from divination magic. I'm just trying to see if she senses any undead in this area within 60 feet.
Currently, no.
Okay.
There does not appear to be any undead in the immediate vicinity.
Everything that's here is either dead or alive. There's no in between.
Rue mage hands that casket out of the wall onto the floor and immediately sets to opening the casket.
It's not very hard. The casket top is kind of already like busted.
And what do we find?
You find a skull and a couple other like assorted bones.
Like
Aside from that, like
femurs,
there's one femur.
humeruses, pelvises.
Elvis is still there. Random ones just seem to be missing.
Rue just kind of rocks back and forth as she studies and very carefully and actually with some reverence picks up the skull.
Picks up the skull.
Or, yeah, is going to pick up the skull unless she's interrupted, which is fine.
What do you... Oh, I guess you need to investigate.
Can. What do you want? You want an investigation check?
Oh, no. Like, Caroline is just kind of like, what are you...
Oh.
Like, you just literally yanked her grandfather's casket out of the wall, and she's just kind of...
Don't worry, we're professionals. Is like just the like very
she's like
assured.
trying to rationalize, like, why are you disturbing my grandfather's stone? Okay.
It's already been disturbed, child.
That's why she's kind of like having the process of like, I guess it was already kind of broken.
If you'd like, you can just so what Willow does, he just sort of shuffles like over towards where she is, and then like So, if there anything you might like want to tell us about any other trinkets you can think that have gone missing, we asked Sabat, and he's just trying to distract her from the view of this and just doesn't really matter if she does say something new. That's good, but otherwise he's just keeping her from as this happens.
Yeah, you're just distracting her. All right, so Rue, what are you looking for?
I'm expecting her to just pocket the skull, but you know.
I mean, maybe.
Accurate.
That's part of why he's distracting her.
Accurate. We will be pocketing the skull. But as I like put my hands over the skull, and especially like, I mean, the guy's been dead for a while, right? So we're not talking about any kind of decomp. We're in straight just bones territory, right?
Yeah, he's been dead for probably like, you would guess about like 50-ish years at least.
Cool. So it's not a big deal that I like run my thumbs through his orbital sockets,
Right.
or anything like that.
Just don't deep tongue them, I guess.
Not in front of you.
That's for private. That's for private time.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do a survival check to see if I can tell. Fuck. The bones in general, not just the skull, how he died. If it's evident from the bones.
You can give it a shot. I think that would probably be more medicine.
Would it be medicine? I can do medicine. I have advantage in medicine.
Try medicine.
Advantage in something. That's not.
I mean, you
that's
rolled above a
terrible.
10. It's kind of hard to tell because random bits and pieces of the bones are missing. Like, just random parts of him are missing. Maybe he only had one leg. But, there doesn't seem to be any obvious sign of how he died. From just the bones. Like, there's no actual, like, damage to the bone.
Even in front of Caroline, she doesn't care. She just kind of takes the skull with her and puts it in a giant sleeve.
I'm definitely glad it decided to distract her. He's just like seeing this, and he just like looks at you. He doesn't, sort of shrugs a bit, and is like, and perhaps while you're going over, you could mention if there's been any strange or interesting deaths in the family as you were going, and you know, and feel free if it makes you squeamish to just sort of stare off center. It might help. I'm just going to set this back so you don't have to go and reminisce over perhaps more traumatic, you know, just keeping her faced away as he pushes it in.
Any strange deaths in my family? I mean, from what the only even remotely strange one that I remember hearing about was my great-great-great-grandfather when they were first setting up Crossroads. I guess he bled out from accidentally hitting his shin with an axe. I don't.
How many people have been missing shins, FYI? Like, just this is an out of character note. I'm just wondering.
How many people
Sorry,
have been
just
missing
shins.
shins?
Yeah, it was just
there's been talk about missing
The
shins
shins,
before.
yeah.
Surprisingly, at least from what you can tell, like, just grandpapa.
How is this
I
family
thought one
like?
of-
How do they
okay.
procreate? Like, I don't know how they tie their shoes in the morning.
I
This whole
I
family's
think
dumb.
I think it might actually be like a case of just they keep, because there's no other children or anything. I'm just wondering, is it just like, oh, we got 2 kids, we're good. We're good.
Oh, no.
It's just like where the family line ends because it's just the daughter. I don't know, man. Already went places.
At some point, I want to investigate or check out the missing chunk of stone from the doorway. Give it a
Okay.
little bit Or
Go ahead and give me like, are you trying to figure out what broke it, or are you trying to figure out where it went?
Maybe both. So let's start with what broke it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me an investigation.
Sure.
Can I
that's fine.
actually help with this? Because there's been enough time from initial headache. Maybe I can just be like, this will be relaxing. I don't have to talk to Caroline and can assist.
Well, currently Urkvar's outside.
I'm still outside.
Oh, right. Fuck.
Yeah, so it's not going to go well, but I'll try to investigate.
What,
Not
pretty
gonna
good?
go well, huh? Not gonna go well, huh?
I'm surprised.
There,
Uh,
like, oddly enough, the chunk of the door that's missing, it's probably only about like yay big or something, just like enough to get a hand hold in and like pry open the door.
Okay. Is it a clean break, like smooth, or is it?
It is
jagged?
not. It's kind of jagged. Like someone was definitely not like chiseling it out or anything. It kind of just seemed to get hit and break off. There appears to be like some scorch marks alongside
Similar
it.
to the ones that we found earlier?
Not quite similar to the tree, no. These are slightly different. These look like actual scorch marks.
Okay.
But they're like very, very faint.
All right. And then any idea? So now I know that it was broken off, possibly involving some kind of fire or other heat source. And where did it go?
It's.
What would I roll for that?
I was about to say it's fairly easy to tell where it went. Like it's just kind of sitting off to the side.
Okay, so like set aside or
Not set
tossed
aside. It looks like it kind of just is like tumbled off to the side.
Okay, so they broke it, like maybe dropped it and it rolled or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. But so that seems like fairly important information. I'll take one more look around before I go into the crypt because I don't want to get ambushed in the crypt. So I want to make just a nice little check around to see that we're still safe out here. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Go ahead and just roll perception, and I will keep that in mind for anything.
Okay. Sorry,
How-
17. The 17. Yeah.
Ooh. How goes everything
15.
in the crypt? Is anyone doing anything else?
mm,
Rue is doing things, but must finish consuming the flesh off of the skull first.
Just as I remember.
Just as I
Is there anything else in the casket that it seems disturbed? Like, obviously there are missing bones. You're kind of vague about which ones are missing. But you mentioned you may have always had one leg, which makes me think a leg bone's missing.
I was about to say, like, one of the legs seems to be missing. A couple of the ribs are missing. It's all just really random bits and ends. There's like a finger or two that's missing. One half of one of the arms is just gone.
wait, by gone, since I had gone over to do you mean like it was broken, like it was sawn through, like it was melted off? Can I?
It looks kind of jagged, but
Okay, so it was like snapped.
potentially,
it's-
yeah.
Jagged,
end-
like it looks like a. Okay.
Which end is missing?
Oh no! Like one.
Oh,
or
the
you know
bone
how
itself
there's-
has just
yeah,
been
the bone is
like a
half.
broken area.
Yeah.
He had fractured it previously. Okay.
Previously or this evening, they just cracked it off because they didn't need a whole hand with their soup stock.
Gotta make that delicious, real people soup.
Look, man, bones are a great part of any broth.
Soylent soup.
Yeah.
Got the marrow.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing else in the casket seems disturbed.
Like, there appears to be, like, a ring that's at the bottom of the casket that appears to have fallen off one of the hands.
Like a finger? Like a ring that was on someone's finger?
Yeah. It's kind
I
of
go
just sitting at
dive
the
for that.
bottom of it. Huh?
I go dive for that. Let's pull that sucker out of here. Retrieving the ring. Does it look normal? The normalish kind of
It
ring.
looks like a wedding band.
I offer it to Caroline. Do you want this?
I suppose I should, since it's kind of just rattling around in there now.
And since someone is stealing these mementos, it might be safer in the house.
Maybe.
Hmm.
This is kind of one of the reasons why I find these thefts so odd. They're not actually taking anything that's valuable.
Is there anything else that might have been noteworthy about your grandfather mementos that he was buried with other than the ring? Just
She's
like
kind of-
looking over this
She's
while
kind of
blocking her from
thinking
seeing
for a
it.
minute and trying to like think very, very long and hard about it.
Rue sends Ukvar a message. You're still outside, right? Or you...
I've come in. I'm walking inside now.
Oh, okay.
As you're coming in, she sends you a message. Can we cook her?
Can we cook her? Is that what she asked?
Just Baba things.
Let's just lure it out. Like something's clearly in the woods. Let's just lure it out of the woods.
By cooking our employer. Savage.
you-
I like it.
I doubt we will get paid.
What use have I for money?
Precisely. I don't make a move. I don't move to kill her. But I'm glad that Ukvar and I are on the same page.
I was about to say, she's kind of like thinking for a while, and she, as far as I know, no. But I never really opened his casket, and he was buried long before I was born. So if he had anything in there that isn't
Is
normal,
there some
I
sort
wouldn't
of record, perhaps, of things they were buried with? Some sort of
know.
Ledger?
anything? Yeah, a ledger that might help, that we could perhaps align what they were buried with and what is missing. It could be possible they were buried with some things, and some of these thefts are simply meant as a distraction to cover up what they're actually after.
I'd have to read through it, and I'd have to go and grab it back from the house.
Something to do in the morrow, provided we are not mauled by wolves.
That would be beneficial.
Considering you came with us because you thought you could tell us if something was missing. Would be helpful.
I know of most of the things. I do not have a completely photographic memory. If there is something that does not immediately stand out.
Does anything stand out to you as being missing, other than the obvious chunk of the door that we all saw?
The chunk of the door is obviously broken off. There was a portrayal of she kind of like looks around and tries to see like which one. Yes. Great grandma had a caricature removed. My great grandfather had his, it was some decorative crest, something from his time served with. It's only referenced as the king's emblem, but apparently it was apparently great grandfather was fond of being a war hero when he was.
So you come from a family of liars.
Only
Cowards.
him.
Okay. Just as an aside, how was the door damaged like that since the beginning of the theft to the crypt, or is that more recent?
What was that?
Is the damage to the crypt recent, or has that been like that since the beginning of the intrusions?
That was fairly recent. Somewhere about 2 weeks ago?
Were there any intrusions into the crypt prior to that?
No intrusions that I'm aware of. I'm also unsure why they needed to break off a chunk.
Was the door not actually sealed before?
It's sealed but not locked. Like, we obviously have to get in case things need to be... Well, not things. In case someone needs to be buried again. To answer the question and to clarify from the chat, the graveyard for the servants is past the crypt.
I'm gonna actually quickly do something and just quickly just start going along all the graves and checking, because if they didn't need to break it to get in technically from the outside, maybe they needed to break it because they were on the inside. So I'm just gonna check all the graves for one that hasn't officially been disturbed that they noticed, just see if it's empty or something.
Okay. So before you do that, or as you're doing that, I will tell the group what I learned about how the door was broken, which admittedly wasn't much, but it looks as if some large creature, maybe using their hands, assisted by flame, ripped that chunk off and left it near the crypt.
Wait,
I couldn't
flame on the outside?
Yeah, near where it was broken. I couldn't tell if the flame or the breaking was coming from inside the crypt or the exterior, but something very large and with a heat assist did
That
the damage.
probably means my theory is wrong, but I'm going to check it anyways.
As you should.
I'm probably wrong. Yeah, I'm gonna check anyways, just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case. So we're checking all of the different caskets to see if there's either a missing body or maybe just something that doesn't align. So he's just going to ask her questions about each corpse in case there's one that maybe has a distinctive injury and it isn't there. For all we know, they're going to have a corpse of a servant inside one of these caskets. So he's just casually asking her questions about the corpses as he pulls them out. Look, I'm plucking at hairs.
I'm fairly uncertain. All of them, as far as I know, have not been disturbed, aside from instances that I have mentioned. This one was broken into. She points at grandfather. One had characters missing. This one had just family mementos, a crest. All of them, as far as I know, are still inside. They did not look disturbed.
I'm checking anyways.
Yeah, they seem to be undisturbed.
Okay.
Are the empty, or the supposedly empty, remaining caskets, they also appear normal, nothing out of the ordinary?
Does that say the one that would be where her father is? It is sealed, but it doesn't appear to be moved.
Can we unseal it?
What?
May as well.
It's probably if it's sealed, I doubt there's anything.
I mean, I'm gonna do it anyways. Gonna be thorough. No, it's just
nice little suction sound.
The sound of disappointment.
Sound of disappointment. There is, in fact, nothing in Father's casket.
I was trying to be like, hey, I found a pack of cigarettes in here.
I found a pack of torches.
Yeah.
I I found pipeweed.
I guess we know where he went all those years. Oh no. Yeah, I mean, I guess I also check like the casket that'd be reserved for her, just because there would be one in advance because rich people things. So he just officially have checked every lead at this point when it also pops open to disappointment, huh?
It pretty much pops into disappointment.
Yeah, okay.
Like there's
No, we get it.
there's she or like as you're going to open it, it's not actually like fully sealed because like it's still there. She's kind of just like as you go to open it, she's like, oh no. And you open it up and there's just
My
like
eternal home.
there's just a teddy bear like inside it already, and she just
I think Poppy is heading back toward the entrance to the crypt, and she looks at the group as she does, like over her shoulder, and just like, I think I'm going to go look at the servants' graves.
Yeah, Rue immediately follows you.
Yeah, same with Uber.
Yeah, yeah, I guess just the one thing is like as I fall in line behind everyone, and we've said it, but and so she's like I guess behind us as I fall in line. I'm just gonna quietly cast. I'm just being a dick here. Sorry. Sorry, just mildly cast a minor illusion. So it's like a very faint scratching noise and coming from inside one of the caskets as we're leaving. It just stops once it's like startled her. That's all.
the night is very strange. I must be very, very tired.
Whatever she's making us suffer through this.
Through our terrible conversation.
A terrible conversation.
Yes. Let's follow Poppy's lead. Poppy, do you need any assistance?
No, I think she's just going toward where the servants' graveyard is, and she's going to immediately go over to like the fresh dirt of the grave that was dug tonight.
Is there fresh dirt?
Yeah, if it hasn't, you know, if it looks like there was a fresh grave buried tonight.
It does look like there was at least something like dug today.
Oh, actually, I have something for this.
Something has not settled.
Oh,
Give me a moment. I can get through this
Oh, no.
in an expedited manner. Caroline, would you please look that way?
What?
Just look that way.
Okay.
And he
He, like,
just like
turns.
plants the staff down in the ground so it's nice and like illuminating the spot near it. And just pulls out his totally not shady fucking toll of shadows and uses mold earth to start moving the earth out of the way. Just yeah, just bit it. It moves a lot of earth.
It does.
Actually.
It's like 5 foot square.
Yeah, all that trouble they went to fucking dig that grave out. So
I mean, you'll need to do it like twice, I'm sure. But
oh yeah, but it's instantaneous
Mhm.
and it's an action. So it's just you know, and
so
he just
funny-
looking casual as fuck while he's doing it. It's like
Poppy's got her arms crossed and just watching this, like nodding in approval. And the minute the grave is undug, she's just gonna look down. Is there a body in it?
that's it. You do notice one funny thing after you do the first one, or rather, Ukvar, since you have actually, or this perception is more for this moment. I was waiting for it. You do hear something off in the distance.
Okay. I'll tell the group.
You hear some like rustling out towards the forest edge. That's probably about like 200-300 feet.
Okay. I'll tell the group like, shh, quiet. There's noises, rustling. Listen. And I'll look in that direction. I'll point in the direction that I think it's coming from,
There,
and I'll peer.
I was about to say, oddly enough, that was actually perfect timing because there is wolf howl.
Nice.
And oddly enough, yes, there is secondary wolf howl, like in return.
Okay.
You can Ukvar, anyone else who wants to make perception to like try to keep an eye out, go ahead and give me one.
No, I'm busy grave robbing.
Poppy,
20! What's up?
hell
There you
yeah.
Sorry.
Poppy's looking like keeping an eye on the grave just to see if there's a body that is uncovered.
I'm
Root
ready.
goes Root
Okay.
goes over to like a tree and I would say climbs it, but she's old, so we're gonna go with probably doesn't climb the tree, but she definitely like nestles herself into a tree and just kind of
She's gnarled enough she can just disguise against the tree.
she can just kind of be the tree.
Yeah, Ugvar is going to draw a javelin and scuttle up one of the tree that Rue is, hiding behind or next to.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to climb that tree.
So everyone else is focused on the grave. Rue and Ukvar are paying attention to Forest Edge. Rue and Ukvar, you see starting to like come out of the Forest Edge. The moon is kind of like flaring down, obviously, and reflected off of it. There appears to be like some very, very large, like orangish eyes
Okay.
Nice.
that just are
Any
like
idea?
slowly trotting out.
Do we recognize anything?
You do recognize that they are at least wolf-like, but there's something wrong.
All right.
And how far away are they now? Still like 200
They're
feet?
probably about like 200 feet. Yeah.
Okay.
They are rather large. Ukvar, you are living out in nature, you probably would at least know they're about a dire wolf size. Actually, slightly larger.
Slightly larger? Okay. And can we tell if they're walking on 4 legs or on 2?
They are, in fact, walking on 4 legs.
Okay.
But as they kind of like get out into the moonlight, you see glinting on something other than the eyes. There's like parts of their skin that are just red, almost crystalline veins just running across the manes.
How many of them?
Currently you see 2, but you hear more howling. Caroline is kind of like, cause guess where you told her to look, Willard? She's just staring out there like, those are rather large.
He's just
Very-
waving her off because he's not even
very-
looking. He's
very
just like,
large.
you can.
What is pretty large? And Poppy looks over and sees them then and goes, oh, we might have a problem, Willard.
She's
What?
she's
No, I'm
kind of
making
like
such good progress.
shaking a little bit of like, it's very large, very large. Very
I need
large.
to turn
and, like
around, don't
trying to
Yes, you should
grab the
probably
knife
turn
from
around and
her
look.
claw.
I'm going to shout out, we have company. Beasts on the horizon.
How far can you throw something? I need to know.
Are you talking to Poppy?
He just looked like the group. He's just like, I need someone who can throw something very far.
I don't think this is that group, bro.
This is not that group.
I mean, Ukvar, you look bigger.
Yeah,
than me.
I could try, but
Yeah. Just let me. God damn it! Did I spend all my money on? He's just like checking his pockets.
How
like
close?
wolves or...
How close are they?
They're about 200 feet out currently. That's where the edge of the forest is.
Okay.
Do you have like I don't know a copper? Single. It's fine.
I have a copper.
Poppy will hand him one because she's standing beside
Yeah.
Willard.
So the staff stops being bright. The copper starts. And he's like, "Can you just like hurl this as hard as you can towards them? I just need a clear shot."
I can try.
As you're like transferring the light, you hear some very loud guttural growling, and again, the howl comes from them, and it is almost ear-splitting now that it's out in the open.
God. I'll try to throw it. It'd be a strength, wouldn't it? Or athletics?
That would be athletics, probably, yeah.
Yeah. Great, because I have a -1.
And they are breaking
I
this
did a
towards you.
nat 20!
This is
That's a
how it
great
happens.
throw.
Negative modifier though, so it's only a 19.
Whatever. Still
So
taking it.
I will probably say that you get it. You probably get it a good like half of the way there. Through it just like skipping and bouncing off the ground. So it's about 100 feet out.
I mean, that's fine. That gives me a pretty good idea that it's a clear shot so far. It's just like, can any of you guys reach that from here? Huh?
Oh, they're already sprinting towards you. So if you
No, he's just like, is there anyone? And he's just like off it. And he goes to Eldritch Blast because I have Eldritch Spirit spell snipe. He was like, anyone? No. Pew.
also Ukvar, or I should say Rue, because you actually got really, really high.
Yeah.
Rue, while you're up in the tree, since you have a little bit higher vantage point, you're noticing that a bit further,
God.
aka off to the side of the crypt, there's a couple other ones coming out and around.
But they're closer then.
They are significantly closer, but they're not visible to Willard.
Okay.
Are they visible to me?
They are visible to you because you can see at an angle above the back end of the crypt and you see them going behind it.
Do you think they're within 120 feet of me?
Yes.
Firebolt, bitch!
Firebolt!
All right.
There we go.
Hurl a firebolt at the closest one to me. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that definitely
which
hits.
it takes 1d10 fire damage.
Okay.
I might have missed horribly, but you did us proud.
Go ahead and, if you would like to roll the d10, or I could roll the
If you can just roll the d10, that would be super efficient.
If you click on Firebolt underneath the thing, it'll roll it for you, the damage for you. Just click on where it says Firebolt.
10! Suck it!
Ooh! Very nice.
I dig it.
It does find its mark, and it appears to scorch onto it a bit, and you can see like a little bit of blood coming out, and then it seems to just crystallize down. And it just
That sounds
kind of
great.
like as soon as you hit it, it doesn't really seem to react like a wolf normally would from being hit with fire, of like flinching. It kind of more just looks towards you and just growls.
Right. I want to throw the javelin that I'm holding at the one that she just
Can
firebolted.
you throw that far? It's about 120 feet out.
Oh, the range on the javelin is 120 max
Oh, okay.
range. And so it's long range, so I imagine there's going to be
There is
penalties or
disadvantage, but
something.
you can definitely try to hit it.
Yeah, because that's the only one I can go after.
Just
so.
don't roll like me, fam.
So I click on the javelin. Is that what I do?
Yes, it should
Okay.
do that, and then we'll click on the javelin.
Okay.
What the? That did not roll right. I can guarantee that. Hang on a sec. Oh, I see why. Ah, no, stop it. Ah! Stop it! No! Javelin is a D6, yes?
Yes. D6 piercing.
Yeah, okay. There you go. That should be fixed now.
Okay, so
So
me to-
we will...
Yeah,
Do it
just
again.
click that javelin button.
No, I'll just do it
Or-
that way.
Oh,
yeah, okay.
So, yeah, it does manage to find purchase into its
Snoot.
hide.
All right.
not the snoot. Okay.
I think if she is seeing Poppy's seeing her group go to attack, I'm going to attack too, and cast Guiding Bolt at the one that's closest. It can be up to 120 feet away.
I think the closest one to you from where you probably are, because they're currently up in a tree a bit further out,
Okay.
so it's going to be a little bit before you can
Okay.
snake a
that's
shot
fine.
at it. So many pew pew
Well,
pew
then
pew pew.
I'm gonna wait.
But Ukvar, similarly, after the javelin finds purchase, like the blood starts to flow from it, and it kind of just crystallizes over and just seems to get a very deep red.
Okay. Seems quite unnatural to me.
You're also noticing, like, one of them, as they're growling, like, the saliva from their mouth seems to, like, drip down onto the ground and leave scorch marks on it.
Mm. Nice. Concentrated acid for spit, huh? Okay, well this is not great.
Okay, so, real quick, everybody go ahead and give initiative.
Yay. Where
Nice,
was
Blake.
that when I was rolling the dice?
Nice, Blake.
Since I can't even think how to... Normally, we're just gonna do that. Oh no. Oh no.
I mean,
So, Willard,
yeah.
you're gonna get to take a shot.
Oh, great.
You just have to run faster than Caroline.
Guess who has Expeditious Retreat as a spell? I mean, it does last 10 minutes. Okay,
That's just
but
enough time to get me back to the house.
But that does. The closest one is what, 120 feet off, and the rest of them are further out.
Yes.
That's fine. We just have 2 turns before they overwhelm and murder us all.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah, maybe.
Easy. It's just like how many do you see?
Currently, you see the tail end of the one because it stopped. Like, as they shot it, it kind of stopped and was like, the fuck.
Okay.
Then you see the
Taken
2
by
out in the
surprise.
forest. So you know of 3.
Okay, and the third that stopped is the closest one.
The third that stopped is the closest one, and you have, like, a loose shot at it. It's kind of behind the crypt-ish.
Fun fact, I ignore 3/4
I know.
cover. So, you just get fucked, pupper.
Now, Willard, you know of 3. Rue and Ukvar, you know of 4.
Right? Because there's another one behind her.
Yep.
Get fucked, pupper.
Go ahead and roll the damage.
Is that including the crit? It is including the critical damage. Whatever. It takes 6. Just blasts it.
All right. Once it does find purchase, it seems to kind of like scorch through that, and some of the crystalline veins just seem to break off and shatter.
So how good are all of you at running? It's about the next thing out of his mouth. How do you feel about a jaunt through the woods at midnight?
I think that's why we're in this situation in the first place.
Yeah.
I would really like to run now. I do not like the look of these things. Oh dear.
Don't worry, at very worst, I can save you. You just have to jump in the grave, and I'll loosely bury you, and we'll retrieve you later.
That seems like a very, very terrible idea.
I'm gonna say being chased down by wolves and torn apart in 3 directions is also horrible.
Very, very, very horrible, terrible idea.
Yeah, that's your options tonight.
So far.
Okay, so
How far are we, by the way, from the other crypt?
you are probably about probably about 100 feet, give or take.
Were any of them
90
like
feet.
towards the other crypt or no? Like, could we retreat?
The one you just shot at is like literally right behind the crypt.
Motherfuck. Okay.
Damn.
He's just like if we can clear that one wolf by the crypt, we could just hole up in there, wait for daybreak.
Speaking
lovely.
of, guess who gets to go now?
Yeah, our crypt boyos.
The crypt boyos, as you're saying, that one over there, like, it starts running, and you see one come around the crypt, which you're assuming is the same one, except that it somehow doesn't have a javelin in it anymore. And then the
I'm
one
going
with
to
the
say
javelin
that one
comes
over there
around.
because I deny the existence of this.
And the other one is like running towards you as well. So you've got two of them about there, and they are now about 20 feet from you.
Mhm.
Like barreling towards you. And the ones out in the forest are barreling towards that tree. And that is Creepy Wolfo turn.
Okay, so then it's me. So the two in the field coming toward the tree, how close are they?
They would probably be about it'd probably be about like 60 at this point. from you.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
And then Poppy and Willard are in immediate danger because of the ones attacking, getting close to them right now.
Yes.
Technically, I think Carolyn's in the most danger because either me or Poppy will push her right into the dog's way.
Sure.
Right into the dog's way.
So I would like to cast Entangle to try to get those two wolves to slow down.
Okay.
So I'll find a place and I will cast it.
Ignore whatever I said in Twitch chat.
So I assume they're entangled. They don't get a saving throw or anything, right?
They do in fact get a saving throw because it's against your spell save DC.
Okay.
Yep.
Speaking of,
I thought it was to break free, but okay.
oh no, it's anywhere when you
I
cast
turned it into difficult terrain though.
Yeah, I
They
was about
can't
to say,
ignore the difficult terrain.
whenever you
Okay.
cast it, they have to make a strength save to avoid being restrained, and if they get
Okay.
restrained, they have to make it against your
To
spell
break
DC as their action.
Okay. Cool.
So what is your spell DC?
Looks like it's 13, I think. Spell save DC 13, yeah.
Okay, that is 1.
Ah,
So managed to
That's
get
not
one of
one
them.
Yep.
I'll take it. Which one got like restrained?
The one who has not gotten hit.
Honestly, not terrible.
Nope.
The completely normal one. All right. And I
think it's my
believe
turn.
up next, yeah, Poppy.
Is there one that's within 120 feet of me
Yes. Now they are both,
of them,
or
in
now they are
fact.
all in fact within 120 feet, and there is in fact some literally
20
about
feet.
like 30 feet away from you.
now? Right.
Yeah.
I'm going
And
to
one's
cast,
restrained.
And bleeding.
going to cast Guiding Bolt on the one that's bleeding at 2nd level.
Okay.
24 does hit, I assume.
Yes.
So 15 radiant damage, and then whoever is next gets advantage on it, on the attack against that one.
So it's definitely looking a bit roughed up. Like, there is a lot of blood flowing and kind of like just meandering about this thing. It's seeming to try to crystallize, but it's just bleeding too much.
All
That's
right.
it for my turn.
That is your turn. Rue.
All right, then Rue will once again attempt let's see, we'll do firebolt again on the one that's hurt, the one that she just attacked.
You'll get advantage on that attack.
Poppy.
Yeah.
Awesome Blossom. 18 hits, I'm assuming.
Yes.
10 fire damage.
A.
Hey.
Let's fuck that boy up.
It's
Hey, Wolf Boy, play dead.
miraculously, yes. It seems to like get hit and start to like crystallize over and is seeming to try to like struggle towards you and just falls over. All the like its mouth just kind of hangs agape, and aside from all the blood, well, I should say the blood and any of its saliva, it just seems to be scorching the earth.
Gross.
Awesome.
Well done.
One of
So
three.
one's restrained, one's dead. The other two are coming from the opposite direction. Caroline, I'd suggest retreating towards your crypt. Might be a good place just to not have open whatever behind us.
Maybe. Probably the best idea, and she's like trying to kind of like slide around, like avoiding the general area where the wolf is.
Yeah.
She's not letting it out of her sight though. She's kind of just like
It is a good plan. I 100% concur.
she makes it a little bit around. She's not quite at the crypt though. 'Cause she had to take the long way.
Is there
Right.
any one of us left to go?
Nope,
No,
it's back
I
to
was
the
last one.
back to the top, so it's back to you.
Yeah, we're back at Willard.
Okay. I want to ask you if I can do something stupid because it's hilarious and
I
also really fucking awful.
I mean, stupid is kind of on brand
Okay,
for me.
so Wolf
go
Boy
ahead.
here is entangled. Can't really do much. I want to mold earth the ground from beneath and just bury him alive. It doesn't specify you can't do the, like ground beneath something's feet. So I'm putting it 5 feet down, and then it tells me I can deposit the earth somewhere. I deposit it in the space above it and bury it alive while it's tied up. Get fucked, doggo. I don't even give a shit if it doesn't kill it or do anything. I just want it out of the way so we can cleanly run away.
I will say that it's potential that you stall it for a little bit more. But it's gonna get some type of save.
Oh, I figured
So-
that.
So go ahead, and I guess I'll make a save.
Yeah. I can't. There's no saving. I don't have to roll anything for it. It's just automatic as like a little instantaneous action. 5 feet down just goes.
What's your spell save DC?
I don't even know because I didn't. Did I take anything that even has a spell save?
I don't know. 13.
I need to. He rolled a 19.
No, I'm saying you have a 13 spell save.
Oh, okay, there we go. Wait, did he not make it?
He kind of did.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I mean, it's fine. Is he at least partly buried? I'll take any stalling over none.
Because mostly, like, you bury him.
Wait, did he do it with disadvantage? Because he's restrained, isn't he?
This is true.
Yeah. Get fucked, Popper. God damn it.
Pupper's like,
The restraints helped.
The
Restraints
Precious.
out. It's just the ground empties out and the vines just hold him directly over top, and he's now
Yeah.
just a dirty, unhappy dog.
surprisingly, yes, that is actually mostly what happens. Like,
Yeah, he's just
the vines are being suspended from all the other vines on the ground, and this thing, like, kind of dips, so its paws are in the dirt that just fell around it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of just more, it's kind of just the same type of restrained it was before, and it's just...
It's just now
Just with dirt on
it's
it.
just unhappy.
Just
So
dirty.
Willard flips it off and then starts like running towards the crypt as he's going by. He's just like, I'm out. I tried.
Thank you,
That's a
Sav, I
good try.
forgot.
He tried. Yep.
He tried. Alright, so... Pupper's number 1 is gonna try to break free from this nonsense
Yeah.
and fails miserably.
Yes.
The saddest pupper.
The saddest, dirtiest pupper is just stuck in the vines. The other two are kind of realizing that they're probably not going to have much luck getting you up in the tree immediately when there's other people on the ground that they can reach.
Of course.
So, Poppy, where you had just stayed roughly next to Willard and Caroline initially, yeah?
Yeah, I haven't moved. I
Okay.
just did guiding bolt, and I'm still standing next to the grave.
So they're kind of bum rushing over to you,
Nice.
but they don't actually get to do anything because they had to run.
Because they had to run.
Run.
Man, this is going to be fun.
Go ahead, Ukva.
All right, so now I'm going to get those two that are running toward Willard and Poppy and use spike growth.
Now, very important.
Yes.
If memory serves, spike growth is a concentration, so it would break entangle.
It breaks entanglement. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, as long as that's good.
Yeah, I'm aware of that. But
Okay, cool.
they've already gone. I'm going to attempt to trap two rather
Okay.
than just the one. Or if I can get it where I can get all three, because it's a 20-foot radius, would it be possible to drop entanglement and drop entangle and get the three with the spike growth while not getting Poppy and Willard?
I mean,
Mm,
I've moved, as has Caroline, so
Okay.
we're not a
Would
concern.
you'd-
The
So
only
just
one
be
is Poppy.
Poppy.
You'd be able to get two of them without getting Poppy. You'd be able to get three of them and Poppy.
Okay. Well, I will just get two. Without
You can
Poppy.
still do it because it's only if I move into the area do I take damage.
Yep.
And I can do a perception check to recognize it as
Into or
hazardous.
within the area, yeah.
Yeah. With
So like
Okay.
if you tried to move out, you'd
Yeah.
have enough
Okay,
fun
well,
time.
I'll do it to get all four, to get the three dogs and Poppy.
Okay.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Poppy.
Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, as
nothing
long as
actually happens.
I do a perception check against it, then I can avoid it.
Okay.
But I could fail that perception check.
Sure.
We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
And then that's it for my
Yep,
turn, right?
nothing
Abe?
happens
Okay.
yet, except for
Right.
spiky little spines grow out in mass.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Poppy.
None of them are in within touch distance, right?
Yes, they are. They are.
They are.
They are legitimately right next to you.
Okay, I'm going to touch whichever one looks. Has one been hurt that's next to me?
None of these ones have been
That's
hurt.
the one that got killed. Okay, I'm just going to touch one of them. I don't care which one.
Okay.
And do inflict wounds. A 17 for 22 necrotic damage if that hits.
Yes, that does in fact hit, and it seems to kind of just.
Yeah, it catches
just-
it at second level.
Yeah.
And I just sort of grab its little snout and I'm just like squeezing at it and just going, "You're being a very bad dog." And that's it for my turn.
Okay. Rue.
So I have a spell that is not in roll 20.
Which one?
Witch Bolt is not in
Yeah,
roll
yeah.
20.
Yeah, it's not.
So
Can't remember the specifics. I think it's like a spell attack, or does it just?
I'm about to put it. I'm gonna put it in our roll 20 chat.
Okay.
Oops. Huh. It would help if I was using.
Yeah,
my
it's a
keyboard.
ranged spell attack.
Wow. Yeah, range spell. That's accurate.
Yeah.
So, this concentration spell. I was gonna aim it at the other one that Poppy did not just rip its face off. The other one that was next to Poppy,
Okay.
because I believe both of them were, right? There were 2 next to Poppy.
Yes.
Yeah, there's technically 3 next to her.
Okay, so the other one, what do I roll for this?
You roll.
Ranged spell attack
Yeah,
would
it's a
be
ranged
your
spell attack.
proficiency plus your spell casting modifier, and a d20.
So just
normal
roll.
spell
Just roll a
casting.
d20, and I'll do all the math. Don't worry about it.
You get the thing to.
And if your spell casting modifier is a
17?
plus 3.
Plus
Ooh.
3, so
22. Yeah.
okay. So and then so it's a 1d12 lightning.
Yep.
So I got a 10 on that,
Gosh.
and I have to concentrate on it from henceforth.
Okay.
Poppy, I tried to do you a solid.
I appreciate it.
You kind of shock it, and it seems to like spasm slightly and just.
It's not into it.
It does not like the shock collar.
treatment.
Yeah, no.
Down, Dougie, down.
Okay. Willard. Well, I guess I should say that like Caroline is like booking it to the crypt
I mean, that's good.
and manages to dive in.
So here's my question. If I thorn whip something, could I choose not to drag it fully out? I think I can drag something up to 5 feet.
You can drag it up to 10, and you do not have to drag it.
Okay. I'm just gonna like shuffle myself a little bit, like further back, because I can just have, I think, up to 120 feet on thorn whip.
Yeah. Hello,
But I'm just
Spell
like
Sniper.
shuffles back a little bit and then just like winds back and goes to thorn whip the furthest dog for me to drag it through the thorn field. Because every spot of distance it moves through that field, it takes damage.
Yep.
And get fucked, pupper.
Yeah.
Get fucked, pupper.
What?
What?
That's
Alright.
not right.
That's not right. Why is that broken?
I'm
think
sorry.
you put 11 instead of 1d6.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
I
Arlie,
think-
but I am going to call nonsense on 11d6 Thorn Whip.
God damn it, me. That actually is only put down as a wait. Is it off this? No, it's actually written down as 1d6. What? Why?
Hang
Why
on,
is it
let
doing
me see
that?
here.
You look in the thing.
I see that.
Look in it.
What the heck? So weird.
The game just wanted this dog dead, I think.
Wanted to atone for all
The
the bad
game's
rolls.
like, no, don't hurt my boy.
Okay, well, the first dice roll in that whole mess of dice rolls was a 5.
Okay.
But I believe he takes an extra 2d4 for every tile he's dragged. If I'm right about spike growth.
Yes, spike growth.
Yeah, you mind if I just drag his fucking ass for 2 tiles?
I mean, go for it.
Yeah.
That's
so
5.
also get fucked for an additional 8 damage. So yeah, you know,
Okay.
his
So Blades
belly
bit.
opened up.
Crystals form.
Okay. Blood does tend to crystallize a bit there. And now it's Pupper's turn. Pupper, how does that say? You kind of moved towards the crypt, but you didn't make it, right, Willard? Or were you even moving towards the crypt?
I kept moving
Okay.
because I want to get as much distance between me and it. Because as long as I move another 30 per turn, it means it'll at least have to run entirely at me to even hit me.
Except for the one. Well, which direction did you go? Towards the crypt or like?
Towards the crypt. I've been
Okay.
going towards the crypt because that way my plan
Okay.
My plan, as a spoiler, was to get to the crypt, move Earth, and just block the door and shoot them from the inside like a cheap little bitch. To be fair,
Okay.
That's a good plan. That's a good plan.
There's a slight problem, Willard.
there's a fucking fifth dog, isn't there?
No, there's not a fifth dog. The one isn't restrained anymore because Entangle is gone.
I mean, yeah, that's fine.
Guess who's coming?
That's fine.
Oh no. Okay, so yeah, that one's moving towards you. It is going to take 2d4 because it moved out of the space.
Ooh.
So it takes a little bit of champ.
Little bit of champ.
The other one that got dragged is moving one step closer so it can get next to Poppy.
I love it. Just got fucking dragged like, no, you're not taking me away from it as it guts itself further.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is in the middle of it, so it's got to like move somewhere.
It's got to do something, yeah.
It's got to do something, or else it's just gonna get pelted to death. But okay. So first and foremost, what's your AC, Arlie?
I'm pretty sure it's terrible. It's a 14.
That is a hit.
Oh no.
I don't know why I did it like that. Whatever. Yeah, okay. So, you're taking 10. And
Ow.
part of it really, really burns. Like it kind of feels like your flesh is actually melting off your bones.
Yeah, I'm using a reaction here, and I hellish rebuke that bitch.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, at second level, because I think I can do things at the second level. I don't get many spell slots, but they're all at the second level. Don't glitch up, sheet. I ask you.
Uh-oh. Is it
Please
glitching up?
don't. I'm just. How do I set it to be? You know, I'm gonna just see if this works. How do I?
Maybe
do this
just
thing.
click?
Oh, here it is. This is neat.
Okay, so it needs to make a dex save.
Yep. Please don't. Please don't make dex save. Please catch fire. Be a good boy and torch. Be a good boy and torch.
Just the worst boy in Gets Torch.
Yeah. So it bites him, and he just like, in like a daze, crams his fist into its like mouth to pry it off, and just fills its mouth with fire.
So, a very interesting thing that you can notice, since you're a bit closer and it's literally like right next to you as you're setting it on fire, it kind of seems to like not be as affected by the fire.
Oh.
Also make
I
a
still
strength
need
save.
It. Oh shit. Yeah, this can only go well.
As you're punching it in the maw.
Look, fam, its teeth are on me.
I know.
I need to get it off.
Get it off, get it off, get it off, get it off, get it off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a reasonable reaction.
It kind of like, as it's biting you and you smack it in the face with fire, it kind of like halfway flinches and just wrenches you down onto the ground.
I don't like this.
You can... you kind of feel your skull just crack onto the ground.
This is the worst. Not that I'm going to die, but I'm going to die sober.
Okay. Let's just see here. Let me see if I can actually remember this is the right command. Let me see. Nope, that is not it. Okay. So, Poppy, what's your AC?
17.
So the first one is like trying to gnaw at you, but your bone scale is kind of just deflecting it off, even though it's getting just a little bit singed. Meanwhile, while you're distracted with that, the second one manages to get a nice bite into your arm. And let's see here. You're taking 15, and you can feel a lot of burning in your arm.
I'm technically bloodied, everyone.
Oh no.
I am literally 1 HP from bloodied. Yeah.
I dropped way below half.
Oof.
You can kind of see like where it's biting into your armor. It's definitely getting the crunch into your arm. And you're very thankful that you've got the scale mail, probably, because the scale, or the bone scale, is kind of starting to just melt.
Great.
Which
Yeah.
exacerbates the pain, because now you've got melted bone fragments in your wound.
Poppy's just like, this is fine. This is okay.
This is fine! This is not
is
fine.
it my turn?
Nothing to
Also-
see here.
Also, if you could make me a strength save. It's...
Oh yeah, sure. That'll work perfectly.
With your -1.
Hey, they're still coming out really good.
Hey! You managed to not get wrenched to the ground by the, like, giant 6-foot puppers.
I don't know how.
Low center of gravity.
Low center
Clearly.
of gravity.
I mean, is the one wrenching or the one getting tased?
Right.
It was the one getting tased. So,
Yeah, so I think it's
Thank
maybe a
you,
little
Rue.
distracted.
Small but swole. Okay. Now it is back to Ukvar.
Okay. They're all basically in close combat with Willard and Poppy. So I will drop the
Yes.
spiked growth because I have to concentrate to do that. So I will stop concentrating and I will throw a javelin at the one that I think is most wounded.
Okay.
All right.
As a heads up, you don't have to stop concentrating to throw a javelin.
Okay, well then I won't.
Okay. Yeah.
I will do that then. And I don't think I will do it.
That one does not connect. No.
Okay. And that's it.
Okay. Poppy.
All right, so we've got we have 3 left. The one that attacked Blake, and then the one that bit Poppy, and then the third one.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, which one is the one that's super bloodied already, or that has sustained the most damage?
The one that did not manage to bite Poppy.
The one that did not bite Poppy is the one that's like super beat up.
Yes.
But what about the one that's on
the
Blake?
one that's on Blake is a little bit beat up. And the other one on Poppy has been mildly beat up.
Okay.
Oh wait, it's my turn.
Yeah, it is Poppy.
It's
Wait.
my turn.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
So sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm going to the one that's got its jaw on me. I'm going to cast inflict wounds again.
Okay, so not the one that you hit before, but
Yeah, the one that is holding on to me.
Okay.
18 for 7 necrotic damage.
Okay. It definitely is not doing fantastic with that. Just
Yeah, that's all for me. Now it's Rue's turn.
tased boy.
Sorry, girl. I'm gonna use I'm gonna cast Witch Bolt. So the Witch Bolt on the previous one, whatever that's over. I'm gonna use Witch Bolt on the one that is attacking Blake. What's the the distance between Blake and Poppy really at this point? Like, are they still? Okay, so they're actually far away from each other now. You guys were next to each other. Okay, you were started running. Okay.
Willard ran.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So
All right. So I'm gonna hit
wanna-
the one, but I'm gonna do Witch Bolt at second level.
okay.
So
I was about
it's
to say I
2d12.
wasn't sure if you were doing what's it called? Because if you're concentrating on Witch Bolt on the one that you already did, you can just auto hit.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think it's a different one
Okay.
at this point. Just probability wise, it's probably a different one. So I'm gonna use it at second level.
Oh, sure.
So 17. So I get 2 d12 lightning, which is apparently just 12 lightning. Because roll 26.
Okay. The one on Blake is looking not so great. It's still got some vigor in it, and it's got a lot of crystal shit on its fur.
Got a lot of vim, huh?
A lot of vim and vigor. Hey, Victus.
I wish it didn't have that much vim and vigor, to be fair.
Sure.
All right. Is that everything, Rue?
Yeah, that'll be it.
Okay. Blake.
I'm trying to think if I should be clever or not. You know what? Hey, would I be able to use minor illusion to make basically a hideous fucking dog whistle noise point blank with this asshole so he'll let me go?
Well, he's
And
not
maybe fuck
actually
off.
restraining you.
Yeah,
You're
he's not
just
holding
on
you
the
anymore.
ground.
He's just not
Okay.
down.
But I just get him to actually fuck off. Because, I mean, maybe.
You can very well try.
Because he gets a save, and I just want him to fail that save. Because it's an intelligence investigation check against my spell DC, and he's a fucking wolf. So I'm hoping he's dumb. But yes, also getting to my feet sort of seems like a good thing, so I'm not prone. But yeah, no, gonna try and fucking just dog whistle him back from me.
Okay.
Through this fight to growth.
Yeah, that's
Eh.
the giant chunk of God damn it. I'm glad I didn't just run because that
is
not
a
20.
giant chunk of goddamn it.
Just okay. You make the giant dog whistle noise, and now it's just angrier. Now it's now it's just really, really mad.
In my defense, I didn't run. That nat 20 could have been it swing at my back.
This is true. So you're standing up next to it.
Yeah, it's not great. He basically just like does like a, and it's this horrible noise, and it's just like, I'm gonna gut you now, boy. So
Okay.
it just goes like from a really high pitch, like a sad kazoo by the end of it.
So I'm guessing that's your turn.
Yup,
Blake. Yeah?
yup.
Okay.
I didn't want to risk running from its face and getting attack of opportunity.
Woofums versus your face.
That hits.
I'm pretty sure that's hitting your face.
Yeah, that hits.
Are you okay?
Really can't wait to create new characters with you there, Arlen.
No.
Are you okay? Bust out your leaf!
Is
Not
that
okay.
10 damage?
That is 10 damage, yes.
I
As
am
it-
still conscious.
As it
and-
bites into your arm, and you get that lovely burning sensation where part of your skin is actually just peeling off the bone and kind of melting to the floor.
Yeah, I'm barely fucking conscious at a whopping 2 HP.
Which is accurate because you can barely stand on your kind
Oh my
of
God.
melted leg.
Yeah, I hellish rebuke it.
Okay. Also, speaking
Yeah.
of which, make another save.
Oh god damn it. Okay, first thing- Thankfully, I can hellish rebuke it even on my back,
Yep. Ah!
which I'm on my back.
You are in fact on your back. Go ahead and do the hellish rebuke
How many
thing so
fucking
we can
spell
see
slots do we
damage.
even have?
You have 2, I think.
Yeah, warlocks have two spell slots unless
They
you
have two
like
spell
something.
slots until basically like level 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could save one for expeditious retreat, but that would involve me actually surviving this guy. Hmm. So I can at least cripple his snoot.
Okay.
Please have your snoot be crippled.
Snoot no cripple.
No cripple.
I mean, it still takes 4 damage.
Yeah, it takes half, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
plausibly halved again because they're fire resistant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh no.
yeah, 2 damage.
All right. Poppy.
Yeah. I mean, I have a 17. So
Okay.
Yeah, you got a 17, so that's 1.
This is a sad day.
And that's not by any
Wait.
means of the imagination. That is not. Oh, sad
Hey.
boy damage.
that was 9 damage, right?
That was in fact 9 damage.
Exactly what I needed to go down.
Oh,
He hits the ground.
no.
It just
oh, no.
chomps in and just
Cleric down.
wrench in, and you kind of like crack your skull on the side of it and just pass out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Poppy is bleeding and possibly bleeding out.
Where we party wipe on the first encounter.
Yep. Maybe this is why we shouldn't go to the graveyard at midnight.
As for squishy casters.
So speaking of Ukvar,
Yeah, I'm going to the one that took Poppy down. That one's pretty injured.
yes, it is in fact pretty injured.
Okay, so I'm going to once again throw a javelin at it.
Do it.
Ugh,
That is not going to do it.
that is not going to do it. It goes sailing in the opposite direction, actually.
Shoot.
Well,
At least you didn't
I'm
hit
gonna
Poppy.
I'm
Yes.
gonna make a death save.
Do it. Get that 20. Revive yourself.
15. There's
Oh, that's a
one.
success at least. And Rue.
Oh my god. Okay.
It's just terrible whichever direction you look at.
Just keep zapping the one that's on Willard.
Well, honestly, my thought was that I needed to hit Caroline with a firebolt because at least if she got on fire, she would be a distraction.
She's
They
she's
might
already
chase
in the
her
crypt.
She's in the crypt.
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
got
god!
her out.
You guys really are the monsters. That's fine.
Hey, I'm between life and death. Don't call me a monster right now.
But yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we surprisingly did our job and actually saved our employer for later.
Right.
She just doesn't realize what we have in
So
store
what
for her.
is the plan, Rue?
I'm gonna hit her. I'm gonna hit the same one with Witch Bolt at 2nd level again.
Okay. Do it. Do
So
it.
another D20.
Oh, you don't even need to D20 it if it's the same
Oh, it's the
one.
same one. So I
Yeah,
already
you
have.
just auto hit.
But
For
I
a
auto hit
minute.
it twice.
You auto hit it
though,
with the 2d12.
because I'm gonna do it at 2nd level. Oh, it's
It does the 2D. Yeah, it
Yeah.
does the full damage
It
every
does the
turn
full
now.
damage every time.
Witch
Yeah.
Bolt's disgusting.
It can
So
be.
you do.
Are you
Oh,
fucking goddamn
it's
kidding me?
disgusting. Don't roll a 1.
You know what's funny is that's still actually enough to kill it.
That is funny.
So it's like Willard's like on the ground, like.
Just- and it's now on top of you, so you're stuck underneath heavy,
The
burning,
direwolf
bleeding
size.
dog corpse.
Oh,
Speaking of Willard, please make me a con save.
God damn it! This is how I die.
it's not how you die.
This is
This
not
is how
you
I die.
It is not.
Hey, con save. Can you actually...
Oh, it is.
It is in fact how I die.
Okay. You take 6 fire damage as the blood is actually spewing on you.
Oh,
And didn't you have 2 HP? So
Yeah, I'm unconscious.
As it just slowly burns.
Yep, right through me.
What is happening?
I actually had a way of saving myself. It had rolled around my turn because I was just going to bury myself briefly. But nope.
I mean,
this
you got buried in a way.
Are-
So
Are you doing anything
You
else?
got
Rue?
a funeral pyre.
Yep.
Is there anything else you are doing, Rue?
Me?
Yes. Yes, you.
Waiting for their teammates to cook.
No.
No. Okay.
There's two
No.
of us down now.
Rue is just like, I'm old as shit and I've never seen something this bad before.
So Ukvar and Rue, since you're the only ones conscious, you hear something. It doesn't seem to come from any direction in particular. It just seems to permeate everywhere. And it is a deep, guttural roar. It
At least
fills
it wasn't laughter.
everywhere, and the wolves stop.
Shit.
They kind of just... And they are booking it.
Are they booking it back through the spiked growth so they die?
Yes! The one that is severely injured actually does die.
Yes.
The other one is going to be going through 3 instances of it, so let's see here.
64.
It is just barely still alive, but it is fucking running.
Oh, great. And leaving a fire trail of blood behind it, I suppose.
Yes, it's actually scorching the entire earth until it crystallizes.
Okay. And so we just heard the really big howl, and
It wasn't even a
those things-
howl. Like
just
it sounds like it doesn't sound like anything natural.
Okay.
It sounds like a very, very deep guttural, just like.
Like the earth cracking open and something eldritch coming through. Okay.
And that is where we're going to end today.
Half the
Can
party
she at
down.
least, can she do her other death save?
Yes.
Oh,
make
right. I
We
need to
have
do a
to-
death save
I was
too.
about to say, you guys can try to like medicine check too to like stymie the bleeding.
Oh no!
And that's a fail.
Oh no.
Do you?
It's my luck, man. I will actually.
Yeah,
die.
I have medicine, and I was gonna try to run over and.
Yeah, I was too, but as
Hey.
soon as we were no longer in initiative.
Quick!
Yeah.
Run!
Yeah.
Run.
Okay, I'll take Poppy. You take Willard.
I got Willard.
All right, so I run to Poppy and
Okay.
attempt medicine.
Cultist bros for life.
I regretfully.
Really?
Sorry, Poppy.
Okay. Ukvar.
Can
you-
we switch?
You feel like
Yeah.
I know what's wrong. She needs to be resuscitated, and they're trying to do like
Yeah.
CPR through the bone, but it's just splinter fragmenting because it's all melted.
Right. Crap.
Just oh.
Can I
no.
run
You
over
can
and
just-
help her now?
Do you have any? You're a druid. Don't you have healing spells?
I do not have any slide.
Oh no!
Not today.
Because you're a cleric.
Okay. Rue, you managed to stabilize Willard. You remove
Regretfully.
the dog off of him by just rolling it off and managed
And like
to
bits of his
stabilize-
clothes and skin like basically pull off with it because it was like melting
Yep.
in.
But he is
As soon as I don't think
stable.
that he's dead, I'm gonna run to her immediately.
is
I'm not gonna
stable.
give a shit about helping him
Yeah,
further.
he is stable.
Okay, when you get to us, I'm going to touch you and cast guidance to help you
Which
out.
does what? Help
You
us
get a
out.
1d4.
It gives
You get a
advantage.
1d4.
Or it gives a does it give a D4? I think it does.
Yeah.
It gives a D4.
That's
So
right.
if you already
ends
have
the target
advantage, you can
roll a
add on
D4
to
and
it.
add the number rolled to any ability check.
Yeah,
Just
you
a
have to
D4?
roll. Yeah, D4.
So
Yeah.
13.
13.
I would say good enough for this. So you managed to stabilize Poppy. They are not in great shape.
No,
Uh,
but they're not. dead.
Willard looks like he could potentially be missing part of his leg. Maybe. There's a lot of melted flesh in the way.
Yeah, Poppy has her work cut out for her when she wakes up.
Yep.
So we're gonna spend the next week and a half recuperating at the old homestead.
In the creepy house.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's fine. Like, we saved Caroline. We have, what, 3 wolves down. Another one ran off in the woods with its tail between its leg.
Yeah,
Fine.
it's a victory. It's a win.
It's not like
Wait,
there's
what?
something worse in the woods.
No.
We can just get some bones out of the crypt and fabricate you a new leg.
That'd be pretty metal.
But yes, that is where we're going to stop for now.
Thank
Okay.
you, guys.
We should be back next Sunday for episode 2.
All of us and our original characters should be back.
Yeah.
And our
Surprisingly.
original
Amazingly
characters,
enough.
TM, and backup characters, TM.
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, I need to make a backup now.
Always
But,
have a backup.
I
But
never
yes.
have a backup.
Nope, I didn't make a
Yeah,
backup either.
Me either. Me
Me
either.
Yeah.
We always need one, but I never have one.
But yeah. We're
right.
going to go around the table real quick. Tell us what you're doing, where we can find you, etc., etc. We'll start with Hannah.
I'm Hannah. You can find me on Twitter at Stop That Old Woman. That's basically all where you can find me. That's where I live, and that's it. Yeah, that's it. Next person.
Katie.
Yeah, I'm Katie. You can find me all over the internet at KatieFace. Through the week, I play games over on Off the Table. That's off_the table on Twitter and Twitch. Literally, right when this ends, I'm hopping into a game. We're doing we've done a 12-hour charity stream today. It's our last game. We've raised, I think, close to $1,000. 500 of which is 800 of which is all going to the Black Lives Matter movement and the police bailout funds. So yeah, if you want something else to watch tonight, you can hop over there and help support those great charities.
Could you put the Twitch channel in the Zoom
Yes,
chat?
I
Because then I
will.
can raid that after this. Oh, haha.
There you go.
Arlie.
Hi there, I'm Arlie. You can find me at Twitter at, I think it's actually at Arlie right now, or did I?
I don't know if you've changed it yet. I think it's still Azakir.
Okay, well, you can find me at Azakare, or on Twitch at the /Arlian, or on YouTube for www.youtube.com/c/crit-hit-entertainment or crit-hit. Yeah. God damn it. I'm like a little, my brain started to shut down. Anyway,
the link's somewhere on Twitter.
it's somewhere. It's like right on the front of the Twitter. Anyways, so I basically am a huge tabletop fan, but also a indie gaming aficionado. I do indie gaming reviews and little chunks of content like streaming, and there's a couple gameplay videos too for just things that I really, really adored. I mean, those have been like buried for a while, but I've considered making more.
Awesome. And Ian.
Yeah, I'm Ian. You can find me on Twitter at UnrulyIan, and that's about it. Right now I'm looking for a job to be a contact tracer to do what I can for this stupid pandemic that's going on. But beyond that, I just hang out.
Nice. All right. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Thanks to all of you players, because this was fun. I hope you all had
Yeah,
fun.
it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
As I said, we'll be back next week, and now we're going to go off and raid Off the Table.